why not do expansions and this modernization effort at the same time and in parallel?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I think we might end up getting a little bit of inside baseball here, I guess. But yeah, I think that every developer you talk to, no matter what game they're working on, wishes they could do all the things all the time. We want expansions to have 8 maps and 20 new elite specs, or well, it's not a round number. 18 elite specs. Engineer will get 2 extras.
That's okay. That makes sense. That's fair. We would definitely force that to happen.
Yeah, for sure. But we all wish that we could do infinite things effectively, right? But like we do have a fixed team size, and we've got the business needs, the business concerns, I guess, that we've got to kind of keep in mind. And so I think the reality is that we could choose to do both, but I think it would mean that we'd probably do things in a fairly underwhelming fashion on both sides. The content would be either more sparse or would be even further spaced out than it already is, which would certainly have some folks pretty unhappy. And I think that we wouldn't do nearly as good of a job on the quality of life stuff as we would want to. We have been trying to make an effort to carve out some time to work on quality of life issues over the past couple of years, especially when it comes to the new features that we're releasing. Like, how do we take things that already exist in the game and bring them up to a bit more of a modern design standard? My favorite example of this is Wizard's Vault, right? Which is effectively daily achievement system and a couple other older systems, and kind of repackaging it in a way that feels a bit more modern and is a bit more player friendly, right? So we've taken a couple big swings like that in the context of expansions, but I think that this phase is going to allow us to do that in a much more robust way, because we're not going to have to worry about only doing things for the latest expansion. We can basically touch everything in the game. So yeah, I think it really just comes down to it's just constraints, and so we want to do this right, and just felt like kind of the right time for us to do it. And we wish that we could do all the things all at once, but it's not how things work, unfortunately. Time is a big constraint. People's a big constraint. I'm pretty excited about what we're going to be able to do. Anything you want to add there?
I don't think so.
Cool. All right, want to move on?
Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead.
You want me to read this one?
Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay. Let's do it. Let's put those old hosting skills to work.
Oh my gosh, the pressure. We've seen a number of players say that this plan sounds ambitious and exciting. Well, thank you, first of all. I love that feedback. I didn't write that. What makes you think that you're going to be able to deliver on it up to the release of Guild Wars 3?
I think that's probably among the most consistent pieces of feedback that we've seen across since Saturday.
So is Colin considered the director
and I
also
think the first answer is
Guild Wars 3, or is he just the studio head?
And we have been for years. And I think that's a really important note for everybody to take into account is, you're all hearing this for the first time on Saturday when we made this announcement, but this message is one that we've been saying internally to the entire ArenaNet team for years, and preparing for this moment for years, and practicing and working this way for years, as Guild Wars 3 has been in development for years, while we've been shipping an expansion for Guild Wars 2 every year across this period of time. And we've partnered with 2 Weeks to start building back up Guild Wars Reforged all at the same time as well. So this isn't a brand new initiative that suddenly now, yesterday that we all scrambled and tried to figure out how do we do. We've already been doing it.
And this is probably getting a little inside baseball, but I think that the way that we structure the studio is also a big part of this, right? And so, again, this is kind of more about how we develop games here, right? But fundamentally, there's a couple different approaches we could take when it comes to staffing and building these various games, right? A lot of these studios lean heavily into the concept of shared teams or shared service teams, where you've got a design department that's across all different games, and you're constantly moving folks back and forth as needed. The approach that we've taken pretty much from the very beginning, years and years back, right, was basically, I kind of think of it as we effectively are operating almost like 2 mini studios within ArenaNet, where all the resources that are dedicated to working on Guild Wars 2 are full-time dedicated to working on Guild Wars 2, and they're not shared with Guild Wars 3, and vice versa, right? And so what it really means is that as game directors, we basically we know exactly the folks that we've got on the team, what their capacity is, what their bandwidth is, and we can really build schedules and timelines around that, and not have to worry about potential competing needs from other projects.
There's no GVG in Guild Wars 2?
I think so far it's been...
What do you mean?
Oh, I think we're good. Okay, sorry. I saw movement in the background. I thought we were having to take a break again.
So the way Guilds versus Guilds works in Guild Wars 2 is you have alliances, and it's based around World v. World.
When we look at each other, the mics stop working, and so
there's
we are
no
now going to focus just on all of you.
For Guild versus Guild, it's all tied to World versus World.
What the hell was I saying?
Resource
So
sharing.
it's basically large scale guild versus guild.
Sorry,
and you're tying yourself to alliances,
effectively to have like,
and you're essentially your alliance versus another alliance. That's how it works.
Mini studios within ArenaNet, right?
And alliances are comprised of multiple guilds.
We did early on. There's some moments where we tried some experiments of like, hey, let's have a person working partially on both games, and I think that what we found is it's just really bad for us. It's bad for that person. They have to try to keep context in two completely different areas, two completely different engines and tool sets and tech stacks to understand. And the reality is, I know a lot of studios do work that way. What we found
I prefer it because it's
that's not best for
persistent,
us.
right? So you can go into world at any time.
These are the dedicated resources that our team has. These are what we're going to be able to do. We're able to plan for, constrain, schedule, and deliver.
And if you wanted battlegrounds, there's smaller battlegrounds, which is structured PvP, which is like capture the flag, push the cart, that type of thing, and it's usually 5v5.
Some really hard decisions at times. In years leading up till now, there's been moments where we've said, hey, there's a gap over here, it'd be great to fill it. And the answer is like, no, Guild Wars 2 shipping and expansion, we're not messing with that. We're not going to pull resources. They're staying on Guild Wars 2, and we need to find other solutions for that on the other project. And even now with Guild Wars Reforged, and a lot of that work is obviously being split between ArenaNet and 2 Weeks working together, which makes it easier. But we really almost have like a third little mini studio inside of ArenaNet as well across the 3 different games that are in flight, which is really fun. It's awesome. It's a dream we had going all the way back to, I remember Mo talking about it in 2007, 2008, being at a point where we would have multiple different game teams at ArenaNet that were live and or shipping games. And it's taken us a long time to get there, but it's pretty incredible to be at that point. And we've learned a lot over the years on how to do that right for ArenaNet so that we can deliver a plan like this. And like we said earlier, we have been planning for this. We have already been doing it. And I think the real question, and this is the thing you're all going to have to tell us, is, we know we can deliver on the strategy.
I want to try out Reforged.
Like the outcome. So
I've had
have the
zero context on Guild Wars 1.
Yes.
I started playing Guild Wars 2.
That is one of the questions people have asked is, do you have the capacity to do it? The answer is yes. But the part that's on us that comes down to actions, not words, is do you like the stuff that we're doing? Do you love Guild Wars 3 and the things that it does? And some of you won't. That's okay. You can play Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1. Hopefully enough people do that it's really successful. Do you like the stuff that we're doing in Guild Wars 2 as we do this initiative and with Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars Reforged? That is the criteria that now we have to go deliver on, but we're not constrained by resources to do it, which is exciting.
So I think a thing has dawned on me in this conversation. I think some of the concern that I have heard, I'm making an assumption here. I think that there is maybe a concern out there that we are moving people off of Guild Wars 2 onto Guild Wars 3 while we're in this maintenance mode, or this maintenance phase, or whatever people are calling it, right? Yeah. That is not the case at all. So basically, the entire team that we would have be building expansions in the future is staying on Guild Wars 2 during this entire phase. They're just repurposed and refocused to working on the modernization efforts effectively. And so we're not lending or sharing or moving a bunch of people off temporarily and then bringing them back. They're actually staying on Guild Wars 2 the entire time, but we're just refocused to work entirely on modernization, the Borderlands map, and the Orb map effectively. And so,
I can't wait to see what the new Rovie World map is.
I think it's been like obvious to us, right? But like maybe we haven't said it explicitly, so I just wanted to be really clear about that.
Yeah, that's a good call out. Oh, we have also been looking at the wrong camera. Nice, nailing it.
Yeah,
oh man, we're. If we intentionally wrote a list of things that we could do to make this feel more casual and haphazardly thrown together, I don't know if we would have come up with everything we've done so far.
I'm going to take off my shoes.
Go for it. I wore shorts to work today, and I put on pants for this.
Hard pants.
I'm just going to put hard pants,
yeah.
Yes. And now I feel like I shouldn't have. I'm disappointed in myself. All right, the next question.
That's funny.
I guess I'll read this one.
I feel like I should read this one because it's a really good one for you to answer.
Okay. All right,
and for me to nod. I'm not supposed to look at you. I forgot.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Okay, go for it.
Josh Davis, regarding the Hall of Monuments, will we be rewarded for accomplishments we've already achieved, or will everything require us to replay content?
Yeah, so this is a really good question. And what I'd say is that, I'm going to offer a little bit of insight here, but there's going to be a lot more information about Hall of Monuments to come later on this year, right? So we just freshly announced this. There's not a lot of detail out there yet. there'll be a more formal big announcement later on this year. But I think from a design standpoint, we want to try to find a way to do both effectively, right? Like I think it's really important to us that we find ways to honor the time and investment that players have put into Guild Wars 2 over the past, going on 14 years now, effectively, right? I mean, there are players who've spent, hundreds of hours in the game. There are players who spent tens of thousands of hours in the game, right? Like I'm not even sure who has the most account age at this point, or the most time played at this point, but that there are multiple players with 30,000, 40,000 hours over the past 14 years. When you think about it, over the past 14 years, it's not so bad, right?
Yeah. So how many hours do you think you have in this game?
We do want to try to find a way to bring a lot of that accomplishment that they've already achieved effectively into the Hall Monument system, but at the same time, we do want to find ways to encourage them to go play that new content or the new refreshed content that we talked about earlier, along with the rest of the community. And so I would expect a healthy mix of both, effectively, in that system. I guess some additional info I can that I'll throw out here a little bit is in terms of the structure for the releases. So right now, I wish we could go out of order, to be honest, because so we're starting with the core game. The core game is the biggest chunk of the game possible, right? It's the thing that we spent 7 years developing initially, right? Yep. And then we've also done a lot of work on it since then. And so I think we could probably spend an entire year just focused on the core game. But unfortunately, just because of how things work and the fact that we're going chronologically, is going to be the first release that we're going to do.
Oh, nice.
We're actually going to break the core game out into 2 releases, though, just to give ourselves a little bit more time. And so the first release will be a bit more focused on core game systems. And then the second release will be focused more on core game open world content and story content. And then we'll go into
they update the friends list
from kind of there on.
Friends list
which
is
will
so
also
weird.
Include all the associated Living World releases as well. And those are probably spaced probably about a month and a half to 2 months apart from each other. And kind of in between all of that, there'll be a very similar structure to what we talked about with the Return to campaign, where each week there's kind of like new achievements and Wizards Vault objectives these days to actually go and accomplish in those areas of the game.
That's cool.
We'll have a lot more information out later this year. I'm personally very excited about it. A lot of really cool stuff going on in there. You'll also be able to earn rewards in Guild Wars 2 as well as Guild Wars 3, which I think is pretty exciting as well. And so even if you're not super interested in playing Guild Wars 3, which I know everyone is, but if if you just wanted to earn nothing but Guild Wars 2 rewards, like that's totally an option for you as well. So there's I think a lot of learnings from the original system that we're putting into place for.
So I think a lot of people were expecting Guild Wars 3 info.
All stuff that's really exciting for everybody. We're
in
really
this live stream
feedback in particular, but I think this is a unique.
How many of you guys were expecting them to talk more about Guild Wars 3 during this live stream?
I think talk more later today. There's a few questions that go more into kind of like our franchise strategy, and so we'll talk more about that later. But like, this is something that we very intentionally do to align with our pillars of feeling like your time is respected and your investment is respected. And we really want to do the next iteration of Hall of Monuments right. So it feels like, just like with each of our games, there's innovation and evolution. We want to apply the same process to Hall of Monuments here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ready for me to go to the next one?
Let's do it. All right.
Okay. Is Guild Wars Reforged going to be connected to the new Hall of Monuments system?
All right. Well, we've said lots of happy, exciting news. This is one where I have to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer, at least today. The answer is, for now, no. Right now, we are focusing on connecting Guild Wars 2 to Guild Wars 3 via Hall of Monuments. Guild Wars 1 already connects to Guild Wars 2 via Hall of Monuments. And the Guild Wars Reforged team, in particular, our very small ArenaNet team and our partners at 2 Weeks Games, right now they're focused on 2 major initiatives. They're going to ship this game on a brand new platform that ArenaNet's never been on before. That is a huge focus for them. And this summer, we're incredibly excited to have Guild Wars Reforged be playable on your phone and to reach a brand new audience, and also hopefully for all of us a chance to go back and play again in Guild Wars 1 and play the game that started it all in a new way. And then just on Saturday, Steven, our game director for Guild Wars Reforged, also announced they're working on a brand new type of content for Guild Wars Reforged as well, and they're focused on that. And so those are their big priorities right now, and we will reevaluate and look at things for Hall of Monuments more in the future. I do want to explicitly call out that I've seen this question asked along with the most common piece of feedback that I've seen as part of this is, I wish that the God Walking Among Mere Mortals title was carried over because it's so important from Guild Wars Reforged. And I do want to call out, I think I understand that. I hear that feedback, and it's something that we'll go and review and discuss internally. Right now, our focus
if they
for
do
Guild Wars
bring it,
Reforged is not.
that means that you could go back to
Monuments,
Reforged to actually get Hall of Monument
so I think it's really important to take a
awards.
moment and just call out. We have seen that, and we have seen that comment in the community, so we appreciate that.
That's pretty cool.
More updates someday in the future, but right now we're focused on Guild Wars 2 to Guild Wars 3.
Cool. I think you should ask the next one.
Yes. All right. How confident are you that Guild Wars 2's engine can realistically support things like PBR without breaking performance?
Ooh, good question.
That is not Pabst Blue Ribbon, for the record, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah. So again, this is a really good question. I was surprised that so many folks were digging into this one so much. It is a very. It's a challenge, honestly. You know, we're taking a game. So I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like the game engine for Guild Wars 2 is actually built off of GW1, right? Like a lot of that.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, a mix of early GW1 stuff and then really a whole bunch of standalone stuff on top of that. But yeah, I mean, it's uniquely its own engine. It is not an off-the-shelf engine.
Like,
it's
camera.
not unreal. It's our own in-house built thing.
But I guess my appreciate the context. I guess my point with a lot of that is like you could still go into our code base now and find code that was written for Guild Wars 1 that's executing right now on live, basically, right? Like a lot of that stuff still exists. And so, you know, the idea of taking a game engine that was originally built for Guild Wars 1 that's been kind of, you know, has evolved over time and trying to do more and more things to modernize it is a really, it's a huge technical challenge, right? And I think that that hasn't stopped us, obviously. We've been doing a lot of things in recent years to, one, you know, implementing DirectX 11. We've got more modern shader technology that we're using now, improved texture compression. We just recently did a update with the launch of VOE for improved shader technology. And I think we've learned a lot from every single one of these releases. And I think that, you know, there's been some things that have gone really well for us and have only been a bonus or a plus to the player experience. And I think there's been some that haven't landed exactly the way we wanted them to, mostly because there are thousands and thousands of hardware configurations out there that's hard for us to replicate internally. But, you know, I think it's, you know, I think this is a thing that we have to do for the game. You know, I think that players want to see the game continue to evolve over time and to feel more modern, and they don't want it to feel like a relic of 2012 effectively. And so it is a tough challenge, but I think one that we're very excited to take on. And so, you know, PBR, the PBR upgrade specifically, I think is a really interesting one in that the real technical challenge here is not so much how do we get PBR to work in Guild Wars 2, but it's how do you actually have assets that were built outside of the PBR pipeline, so things we already got in the game, live alongside assets actually rendered or developed in a PBR pipeline, and how do you make it feel like a cohesive game world experience and not feel like you've got things, well, it's like, well, it's pre, you know, 2026, 2027, that's, you know, that's the old stuff and here's the new stuff. Like, we want it to feel cohesive, right? And so finding a way to do that.
If I can remember first.
I think, you know, reading through the comments over the weekend, I think probably the biggest concern is performance. And, you know, what does an upgrade like this mean for performance for the game long term?
That's funny.
So I think the main thing to understand here is that we're actually doing work on both fronts kind of simultaneously, right? So we've got folks that are dedicated to working on client and server perf, and then separately there are folks that are working on improving the fidelity of the game generally. I do think we need to find headroom in performance in order to be able to make some of these improvements possible, though, right? So, like, if we didn't address performance at all and just continue trying to add new fancy stuff to the game, like, obviously that would start to make it so that certain players couldn't play the game anymore, and I think that'd be really problematic. And so these initiatives are effectively happening kind of in parallel with each other. But absolutely, we do have to address the performance problem as well. And it also manifests a lot of different ways, right? When I say performance, there's really kind of two large.
He touches his glasses a lot.
Both of which we're working on. So one is
I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I keep noticing it.
Right, like so when you're running around in Warpus' world or any sort of like large scale populated map, and your frame rate starts to chug, you know, and it feels like your screen's not up very often. That's client performance, right? And that's a big focus of ours. Then separately, there's server performance, which is, you know, what can feel like lag or latency. If you play Warpus' world, I'm going to say a thing that you've all experienced before, which is you push a button and then you don't see your cast bar go off, right? And like maybe a couple seconds later, it finally executes. That's a different kind of performance problem, but it's still a performance problem and one that we're very much taking a look at. In fact, this year we actually deployed some brand new monitoring and diagnostic technology to live, very silently. We didn't talk about it or announce it publicly, but it's actually giving us a lot of really great information in terms of ways that we can actually tackle optimization for the game on live. And so a lot of really cool stuff happening on that front right now.
Yeah, I think that, you know, this goes back to a theme that we've already talked about today and is worth reinforcing.
I don't know if they're actually slipping though.
We're seeing coming out of our
I think it's just like a nervous thing, right?
Is this
or just something he does when he talks
to this plan. Is this commitment to supporting all 3 games something that in the future they're going to keep doing? You don't make investments like this into updating the technology on a game like Guild Wars 2 unless the goal is to continue to invest and support the game. And I think that we have a strong track record, in particular over the last 5 years, of already doing some things like this and carving out time to do a lot more of it. These are things you do if you want this game to be around, what would you say, 15 more years?
At least.
At least, I'd love to,
Oh, do they?
Recently, we had somebody retire from ArenaNet. It was pretty awesome. It's not a thing that you see happen in the game industry basically ever. I would love to be able to look around and say a bunch more people have retired from ArenaNet.
That's pretty cool.
And are off living their best dreams of being retired and playing Guild Wars all day long while they're retired, and hanging out and watching the game continue to get updated and supported at that point as well. And this stuff is what you do to make that possible.
Well said.
Page 1 of questions.
There was one other note I had. This doesn't follow on what you were just saying just now at all. I should have mentioned it earlier, but I think one of the learnings that we took away from some of the recent fidelity upgrades.
I wonder if they're going to show anything on this stream.
Where possible, we need to make some of these things optional. And so, with the shadow technology specifically, we've been going back and adding a lot more granularity in terms of controls that players have to make sure that if for whatever reason the new settings don't work well for them on their rig or whatever, they still have the ability to kind of fall back into the way that things used to be. And the drop downs we've added aren't the final solution for that problem. Obviously, we want to make sure that everyone can kind of benefit from those changes. But if we do roll a change out and there's any chance that it's impacting players' experience, we want to make sure that players can opt out as much as possible and be able to continue playing the game the way that they were.
It's a great learning.
Yeah, huh? It makes things harder.
Yep.
I will say our options menu is getting pretty lengthy, and maybe that's a candidate for us to take a look at some point.
You all tell us on the forums if you think that that's one of the most important things to look at.
Duncan's been telling me.
Okay.
Our UI UX guy. Yeah. All right. Want to move on?
Yeah. Here, this is a opportunity. I think one of the things we really like to try to do as much as we can, and hopefully you see this, is when we make mistakes, we own it and talk about what have we learned and how do we move forward. And I think one of the questions that
I don't think it was supposed to be, but they're making light of it,
for World versus World is what went wrong with
I'm eating my food real quick, chat. One second.
And how specifically are you going to make sure that you avoid repeating the mistakes that happened with that map as you're making a new Borderlands map for World versus World?
Yeah, this is a fun one to talk about. I think the hard part about World vs. World developing for it is that you've got so many different types of players that engage in the game mode very differently, and it is near impossible to implement solutions or changes that I think appeal to everyone. So you've got your roamers and your players that do nothing but PvT. You've got your what's a good way of phrasing this? Players who like to play in large groups.
Zergs!
In uncoordinated large group fashion. You've got folks that like to be very coordinated in a large group. There's just so many different ways to play the game. Oh, you got roamers, right? You've got your scouts. There's all different types of gameplay. And so I think if I was to poll those groups, they'd all feel very differently about why Desert Borderlands wasn't that appealing for them. But what I would say, from my perspective, is it kind of came down to a couple different things. One is, it's too big. I think it really kind of goes into it's hard to find fights. It takes forever to respawn, and if you end up wiping for whatever reason, trying to get back to where the fight was takes forever. It feels like a big grind. Way too much verticality in the map. And I think we'll talk about that here more in a minute. Kind of the root cause behind all this. But just for a World vs. World map specifically, just way too much verticality makes it not very fun. Hard to navigate, obviously. And then I think a lot of the objectives that we had just kind of felt very weak compared to stuff that already existed in Alpine and EBG. But we were talking about this before the call, and you actually had a really good call out as to in terms of how we got there that I thought maybe you would expand on.
Yeah. I mean, I think where did we begin with Desert Borderlands, I think, is a really good learning as we look back on even the ArenaNet process. We were making gliding for Heart of Thorns. And so we were so enamored with this idea of verticality in the maps in HOT and the free-form movement and trying to lean into some of the things we did with Joy of Movement, that we started with a feature for that Desert Borderlands and said, let's make this about gliding and using movement and using all these new movement abilities. And I think anytime that you start with something like that and you start with a feature instead of starting with what's the intended player experience, you're probably in a lot of trouble. And I think that led to a lot of the problems that we ended up having with that map in the first place, is rather than starting with what's best for world versus world, we started with what's best for gliding. And I don't think that's ever what world versus world players wanted. That's a really important lesson.
Based on the
we
staff
take as we look at
listings from the list that we saw
we're trying to
of what they've hired for the last 4 years, it's all senior talent.
People want out of WoW. But still starting with the player experience first and trying to align with that rather than starting with a feature is always just a better approach, and not something we did with that map.
Colin just said WoW. That's what we call it internally, or used to call it internally. And in fact, people who join the team now, they're like, "What the heck are you guys saying?" WoW. So he means World versus World.
Yes, sorry.
He's just old school.
Been around too long.
Okay, so all great context, and I think that we made it even worse for ourselves because we basically didn't work alongside the community to validate that the thing that we made was any good or was actually going to meet the player needs. Basically, we built it in isolation, and we showed up one day with an announcement trailer that was like, "Look at this cool thing we made! You're all going to be very excited about it." And it turns out that most players weren't that excited about it, and so I think we learned our lesson there. I think we want to basically do the same thing we did with PvP Rush, the new game mode that we released with Janther Wilds, which is effectively let's put out the earliest, ugliest version of a map possible, gray box state.
I love that this is their approach, by the way.
That way we're mostly focused on the layout and the gameplay, and we've got maximum ability to change these things without basically losing a bunch of work and time and effort. And then once we lock in on what we want the map to play like,
okay, my stomach's full now.
Players agree that this is the right direction for the map. Only then.
Bro, I had a Whopper in front of me,
allow our artists to go
and I didn't want it to get cold.
As long as we're preserving the layout and the gameplay that we all got aligned on, and so
that was a good Whopper.
I don't think we have a hard deadline or timeline for how long it's going to take for us to deliver the map. I think this is one of those places where we don't want to ship something that doesn't really solve the problem or make players happy effectively, and so. But I do anticipate that we'll probably run betas over the course of probably close to a year on live in various forms, right?
You're eating a sushi tray?
And you'll kind of see the progress as we kind of go through. But I'm really excited about the opportunity there. And this is pretty atypical, I would say, for MMOs or really kind of any sort of live game, right? I think to bring
my YouTube video hasn't blown up yet, so all I could afford is Whoppers.
Like doing this in a live game, I think is just what's really compelling. One of the risks of PTRs is that you get a really small slice of your audience that goes and plays it. Only the folks that are willing to go download an extra 100 gig client and play at very specific times. This really means that anyone could play and participate and provide feedback, which I think is really powerful. And we run our early spec betas on live too, right? Like we've been doing that for every expansion, and the volume of feedback that we get because everyone can participate is it's huge, right? And if we were to do these on PTRs, I think we'd be only getting a very small number of players that are willing to go through all those hurdles and hoops. And I just don't think we'd be able to deliver as good content as we do. So I'm excited to take this approach.
No, I think it's fantastic. And by the time we realized Desert Borderlands was a miss, it was basically done, and it was impossible for us to go back and without a massive investment to go back and redo it. And so it's really exciting to see this approach. And I
wonder if they're going to replace Desert Borderlands with this new map, or they're just going to add a third.
Than those that we don't. Involve our community as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, going back to where I started, I think the big challenge here is we do have a lot of players that play the game very differently.
Yep.
And so trying to find a version of a new Borderlands map that will, I think, appease everybody is going to be a tough challenge. Obviously, we've got maps that do it pretty well already. And so I think as long as we, stick close to what we know already and, what players tend to enjoy, I think we'll probably end up in a good spot.
Yeah. It's tough. In looking back, there's almost no update we've ever made to World versus World that universally everybody likes. It's very hard to do. There's always a subset of players that it doesn't work for their version of the way that they want the game to work or the way that they play it. And so that is a really hard challenge and a tough thing as we go forward with that. But I think if we get enough excitement.
Gosh golly, World vs. World is really hard to develop for. At certain points, I think that we're even a little afraid of the audience, afraid of of breaking things. And I think we had some really hard conversations even just recently about look, we got to try stuff. I know it's really scary to do things, and there's going to be players that don't like the things that we're doing for a variety of reasons, but that doesn't mean that we can't do anything. And so I think just getting a lot more comfortable with trying stuff, and then being comfortable with turning things off or rewinding those changes if they don't actually achieve the goals that we have. And so I think it's given us a little bit more confidence.
I'm okay with that. Anything interesting yet? No.
Yeah, I think
basically the blog post so far.
Like the stuff that the team has done with fashion templates is a great example.
Or not the blog post. Basically, it's a live version of the video they posted so far.
And we sat down and said, here's what we're going to do to address it. Here's a roadmap of how we're going to do that, and then we've systemically, point by point, gone through and updated. I think like that's us at our best. Obviously shipping something that a subset of people are upset about is not us at our best. But when we do, owning it, talking about it, laying out a roadmap and addressing it. And so hopefully, if we do miss on some things through this process,
I got Mage Blood and PoE. We rich now? Wow.
All right.
Some people never struggle.
Yeah. Because I think you can actually talk about some of the core game design stuff a little bit and maybe some technology stuff. And then we'll go from there.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so how will you ensure that Guild Wars 2 maps, metas, and older content remain populated during this transition?
Well, I guess the first one is it's part of our strategy, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, is we anticipate millions of players to come play Guild Wars 2, either coming back who haven't played in a long time, or players who play Guild Wars Reforged or play Guild Wars 3 and fall in love and want to go play Guild Wars 2. All of those
This is why I think Guild Wars 3 is going to be fundamentally different than Guild Wars 2.
Always populated. Hall of Monuments in the future serves a similar purpose as well.
Because they're looking to support Guild Wars 2 beyond Guild Wars 3, and they want us to provide
if you don't mind,
a different experience.
Some of the recent stuff in the announcement, if you don't mind.
No, please.
So you just talked about seeing a lot of players come back to the game.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention this is already happening actually. And so since the announcement on Friday, we've actually seen like a 40% increase in the number of daily active users playing.
Wow, 40%! Holy!
I know the players follow our financial reports very closely and are commenting always on how much money we're making and whatnot. And so that things are going pretty well for us right now. And we've seen a 40% increase in our daily active users, which is pretty fantastic. Week over week, we saw like a 45% increase in concurrency in the live game, which is amazing and wild. I always had hopes that the announcement would be positive, overall impact to the game. Obviously, we assume things will be positive, but has absolutely exceeded my expectations on that front. I think the other big one too. Two other stats I'd love to share. One is, and hopefully I don't get hit like a marketing team sniper. We're talking about this.
No one behind the camera is running at you yet. So far, good.
Two other really cool stats. It was Saturday, I believe. We had our single best day for new player acquisitions. The highest number of new players joining the game for the very first time on Saturday since our initial launch on Steam back in 2022.
That's
which
incredible.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the last really cool one. So we'd actually set a bit of a record with VOE in terms of the number of players coming back to Guild Wars 2 who hadn't played the game in a year or more. So players that had lapsed out of the game, that had moved on to taken a break for whatever reason. We set a record with VOE in terms of the number of players coming back to the game, which is great. We absolutely crushed that on I think it was on Saturday.
Yeah, when it's closer to Guild Wars, oh yeah, for sure.
And again, these are
especially now that they're doing all this quality of life
Guild Wars 2 for the first time in,
leading into Guild Wars 3. That means they're gonna have the new map, the new World v World map, the ore map. They're gonna have all of the updated maps,
the strategy we've got,
the physics-based rendering that they're doing. Yeah, it's gonna be. Guild Wars 2 is gonna have a nice little bump.
Feeling very validated right now.
That's fantastic, and I think I mean that speaks to the answer to this question: is how are these areas going to be full of players? Well, right, this is what we're doing, and they are showing up, and tons of people are coming back. I think also, if you look at the technology that Guild Wars 2 is built on, a lot of it is set
Is there a
up to
graphics
support,
update? Probably not to the degree that you're thinking of, but they are updating every map in the game. That's from before Visions of Eternity, which was their most recent expansion.
Sign up for what world you're going to play on, and the world
like if you go to the new maps in Visions of Eternity and you go look at the old maps, it's a complete night and day difference in terms of how they look.
Decline, there's less and less people to play with, and they have to merge servers together or close servers so that population is constantly being managed. Guild Wars 2 doesn't work that way. We use a system under the hood called mega servers that basically creates as many or as few copies of a map as is needed based on the number of players who are currently online, which allows us to constantly make it feel like.
If you haven't played in 2 years, you have tons of content to get through between now and when Guild Wars 3 comes out. You can literally start the game today and probably not be done with the content in this game till Guild Wars 3 launches.
Even when you play at like 3 in the morning, there's still a bunch of people running around everywhere. And so our back-end system is built so that we can operate this way, and it will help with that. And I think that that's an important part of the message as well.
Yeah. I think there's still a lot we can do, though, in this time frame specifically to try to
pretty much, Nixie, outside of WoW and ESO,
this is just my gripe as
their yearly expansions and Final Fantasy,
and I'm not saying
bi-yearly,
or that we're fixing this.
Not not really for a new MMO, no.
You know, I think one thing about Guild Wars 2, it's a very expansive game, right? There's a lot of cool things you can do. It's not always obvious what you should be doing, especially as a new player, or even if you've been out of the game for any amount of time, and you come back to it. It's almost overwhelming. Like, where the heck do I go? And we've added some things to try to improve.
The last time I got in, I was just lost since it was so long since I logged out. So I logged out after wandering around for a couple of hours.
And I think
a lot of people run into that issue.
A lot of the information you need in order to play Guild Wars 2 is stuff that's not available
I think
itself. This is probably a thing we'll never be able to
I've come back to Guild Wars multiple times throughout the years.
Honestly, but like,
and
I know a lot of our
I've done that with a lot of MMOs. And I think the one thing that I've seen that's very common is the fact that if you start an MMO blind or come back after a long time, and you either aren't playing with friends or aren't just directly encouraging yourself to look at things and learn, you're gonna just feel out of place and eventually just, like what you said, wander around for a bit and then want to log out.
And I imagine,
I think the best
in the long-term roadmap as time goes
the most
on,
healthiest returns I've ever had to an MMO is when I have multiple people with me or friends that also are playing and that we're also helping each other learn and get through some of the hurdles of playing an MMO. Because an MMO, starting an MMO is never easy, especially when you start it by yourself.
The intent is to keep the game running for as long as we possibly can, and basically as long as any of you want to play it. And, you know, all these years later, 21 years later, Guild Wars 1 is still running as Guild Wars Reforged. And same thing for Guild Wars 2. There'll have to be some updates.
I think the hardest thing about Guild Wars for a lot of people to realize is that
just so many people playing it that the updates
the way you level in Guild Wars is not a traditional like quest system.
Yep. I'm not saying that you should go on the forum
and max level in this game doesn't mean you're in endgame. It just means that more game opens up to you.
Go put my name in the post. Thank you.
And I think that's the I think that they could do a better job of probably explaining how those systems work as you're in that new player experience.
Oh, by the way, Stefan, how are we doing on time? I feel like we're in a bit of a vortex over here.
It's been an hour.
It's been an hour. Well, I think we've got a couple more that we came prepared for. So you just want to keep rolling? And
sure.
Let's
roll.
Okay.
Used to have friends until my bank account dried.
We're doing our best over here.
Then they weren't friends. What do you mean?
I can't see a clock.
No, I have no.
So, we're winging it.
We're in a void. We're in the mist. We have no concept of time, place, anything.
Yep.
It does. I think maybe when you played it didn't, but it does. It has a direct it basically tells you now what level to get to continue the story if you're doing the base game. And if you're not doing the base game, you're already at max level. So there is no requirement. You just do the story. Like there's nothing stops you from continuing the story once you're max level.
This is a really good question.
Because
come up a lot,
basically the base game gets you to max level.
Guild Wars Reforged is
everything after the base game, all their expansions are all max level content.
Support all of our games.
That's how they design it. Right, so
mobile is not a focus. Mobile.
The only time you're ever worried about leveling is for the base game story.
And so, yes, absolutely, we're going to release Guild Wars Reforged on mobile devices. That is to get Guild Wars Reforged into more players' hands and to hopefully create millions and millions more Guild Wars fans around the world who want to play all of our Guild Wars games, including Guild Wars Reforged. And for all of us who love Guild Wars Reforged,
and it's funny too because when you're playing through the base game. And you're like, oh, I need 5 levels to get to the next chapter to continue the story. It's so funny because in Guild Wars, that only happens once. That only happens when you're leveling from 1 to 80. Nowhere else in the game does that ever happen. I would even argue
pretty
that
specific roadmap for Guild Wars 2.
they could get rid of levels 1 through 80 and just have you start working on masteries from level 1, and people wouldn't even mind that, because leveling from 1 through 80, all it gives you is hero points and like just some other random stuff for your account.
Two big things on the calendar.
So it's so funny because I don't even think this game needs a level. Like, to be honest, people, the characters playing this game don't even really need a level. They just need to unlock mastery to unlock the content, or unlock the specs, or unlock the stuff for your character. It's a very interesting dynamic, because 1 through 80 is completely different than anything else you play in this game.
Taking the game to phone and extending other devices. And each thing that we're doing on Reforged continues to reinforce the investment and the continued response that we see from all of you and the new people going.
Yeah, I think that's just a natural thing when you return to a game.
We're really excited to see in the future, but certainly, yes, we're going to continue to support Guild Wars Reforged, and now, very soon, you'll also be able to play it on a phone. That is the very direct answer to that question.
Yeah, in this game, there's not really like, oh, you need to hit this certain threshold. Well, for certain content you do. But in this game, it's more completionist, right? Like, I want to complete this map to get these points to do this thing to unlock this thing on my class.
Will Guild Wars 2 ever come to console or mobile?
Oh.
So, direct answer, no.
Oh, rip.
We'll just get that out of the way first. And then lots of context why. So, historically, I'll start with the backstory here. We have multiple times.
But you could still get numbers go up, Danny, even without having a level, because your mastery would be your level, because it's your account level. It's like Paragon or Prestiging.
Included a console team, and ultimately we reached a point
you're
where
still doing the same thing.
We couldn't pursue.
You're just it's going towards something else on your account.
That was going to work, and I'll let you talk a little bit about.
You'll see it once you hit max level in the game, Danny. What I'm talking about, because once you hit max level,
at that point,
you start getting mastery points.
We decided all the way back. I think that was like in 2009, 2010, when effectively that initiative came to an end, and then again right around 2014ish. When the game was exploding and free to play was happening, and Heart of Thorns and Guild Wars 2 in China, we asked again, could we go back and try to figure out how to get it to work on console? And again, we encountered a lot of the same answers and decided no. And one last time, when you and I came back to the studio, we had those conversations with JT, who was the studio head at the time, and we came to the same conclusion of no, for all the same reasons, this isn't an option for us. And that's what Guild Wars 3 is about. Guild Wars 3 is a game that we're building from the ground up so that it can, from the tech side and from the gameplay experience side, work on console. And this goes to the thing that we said this last weekend. All of our Guild Wars games are very different. The gameplay experiences, the technology behind them, they're all very intentionally different so that they can be different games with different communities and some overlap between those communities. And so Guild Wars 3 will be the Guild Wars game that is made to be playable on console. Guild Wars Reforged is the Guild Wars game that is going to be playable on mobile devices, and Guild Wars 2 will not be coming to mobile or to console. Do you want to talk more about kind of the whys?
You have to be 80 to unlock lighting.
I can only speak to the, when I say most recent, it was still years ago that we had this conversation, right? But, we really dove into, like, what are all the changes required to the game, to make to the game in order to be able to go onto PS5 or Xbox or whatever. And, I think the reality is there's just too many compromises we'd have to make with the game, and it would feel like a very different game than the game that we have today. In order, I
really hope we're gonna get into some content today. I hope because this has been a nothing burger.
Nice in the game that we already have, right? So we want to
be honest,
create a separate standalone experience that's only for console, and then have one that's mostly for PC players. We want that to be cross-play and cohesive.
It's a lot of what they've already gone over in the video, I think it stops, which is fine. It serves different audiences, right? And I wish we'd seen some content in Guild Wars 2 at least, or a teaser or something,
At that point, the game's been out for 9-10 years, and I think that would just be I don't think we couldn't do that. We couldn't go and change the game so much that it feels like a very different game from the one that players been playing for close to a decade at this point. So, love the idea of it. Always sounded really cool to me. But I think that Colin's right that in order to do a game really well on console, you've kind of got to build it from the start with that in mind.
Yeah. And with Guild Wars 3 already in development, it felt like that is our place to do that and to have that experience. And I think if you certainly some of you will probably say, well, other games have MMOs even years after launch have moved on to console. And each of them is their own unique experience, which with their own unique engine and tech stack. And for us, for our engine, for our tech stack, for our game and the gameplay experience, when you add up everything that's involved, it doesn't make sense for us. It has made sense for other games and other studios, and that's awesome. And we love to see more MMOs doing really well on as many devices as possible and as many consoles as possible. Honestly, you know, a lot of the fire that forged Guild Wars 2 was lots of MMOs in development all at once, and awesome competition constantly pushing us to do better. And so we'd love to see as many MMOs on as many devices as we can, but that's just not something that you're going to see from Guild Wars 2. On Guild Wars 3 will be the console MMO game. Guild Wars Reforged will be the mobile MMO game at ArenaNet, and we don't plan to make any changes there for Guild Wars 2.
And also, I just think the idea of like players managing their inventory with a controller just feels like punishment. Honestly, like, can you imagine choosy boxes with a controller? I know there's some Steam Deck players that are working through that, but just
I wonder how this feels on
subject
Steam Deck.
to that, you know, yeah.
Well said.
Okay, so I think the next
MC?
question is for you again. So I will read it for you.
All right.
Why does ArenaNet believe it is important to offer 3 different games across 3 different parts of the Tyrian timeline? And what does this...
Ooh, a timeline question. Okay.
So why 3 different games across 3 different timelines? And in particular, I think why 3 different games is maybe the most important question. And you know, first, to wax poetic for a minute, the way that we make games at ArenaNet is we start by looking at, during the era of time that we're making our game, what are the player problems, what are the limitations, what are the challenges with the MMO genre at the time, and how do we solve for those? And so back when we made Guild Wars 1 and released that in 2005, we were solving for the problems of, you know, what we saw as that era of MMO experience. We tried to call it a cooperative RPG, CORPG, and not an MMO, but everyone ignored us and immediately informed us that we'd really shipped an MMO. And so we've just kind of abandoned trying to call it that, and we accepted that everyone says it was an MMO. It's a very unique kind of MMO, but an MMO nonetheless. And then Guild Wars 2 came out in a different era and tried to solve for the problems and challenges and limitations.
Spoiler
of
alert.
MMOs in the timeline
That
when it was
era
in
still
development and
exists
released in
because no
2012.
MMOs have
And now that we're making a
evolved
new
beyond
game,
that era.
There's another era of MMOs, and I think, you know, in particular, most MMO fans are still playing the same MMOs from
There you
10
go.
years ago, and there hasn't been very many new ones
There you
across
go.
that period of time. And many of those new MMOs have been more of kind of retreads of older ideas or older game systems. There hasn't been a ton of unique innovation. There's been some, which is awesome to see. We love people making MMOs. We cheer like crazy for all of them to be successful. But there hasn't been a lot in the last decade plus. And so it feels like the right time for us to make another Guild Wars game that solves for different problems. So I think that's the why are we making another one now, is because we feel like
He said
the
solves
industry,
for
the
different
genre,
problem.
and ArenaNet is
Gotta
ready
really
for it,
pay
and Guild
attention
Wars
to the
is
way
ready
they
for
talk
it.
about this.
It's been 19 years since we announced a new game at ArenaNet. 19. Let that sink in for a minute. Like, that feels like a reasonable wait and a reasonable pause for us to
Solve a different problem. Guild Wars 3 is
So
not going to be like
that's
Guild Wars 2 at any
why
means.
are we making another Guild Wars
I honestly
game?
don't
Is
even
because
think
we
it's
feel
gonna
like
be-
the
it's
genre
gonna have
and
large
ArenaNet
scale
and
like Guild Wars
are all
2.
ready for it. Why do we want to have 3 different MMOs we support at the same time? Is because we feel like they're all very different types of games, and as a result, they can be appealing to very different types of gamers. And we know at its core there will be some overlap, and our hope will be that there's a lot of overlap of people who just love Guild Wars and want to play all 3 games and continue to do so far into the future. That would be the perfect situation for ArenaNet. But we really want to provide 3 uniquely distinct MMO experiences and different types of games to attract different types of gamers, different types of MMO fans. You know, for Guild Wars 2, one of the things we said is if you hate MMOs, you should go play this game too. And I think, you know, a very similar concept applied to Guild Wars 1 in its timeline. It was a very different type of MMO. And Guild Wars 3 as well has a bunch of new and big ideas that we'll talk about far into the future that are also things that we hope both are really exciting to people who love the MMO genre, but also bring an entirely new fan base into the MMO genre for Guild Wars 3 as well, and allows it to stand on its own. And I think there's something really
I have a
exciting,
feeling it's going to be
compelling about
more
3
shared
different
world
MMOs
than it
all in the
is
Guild Wars
MMO.
franchise running at the same time, in the same way that so many other game franchises have games in different genres or different types, or now even in the MMO space. I mean, I think if you look at what World of Warcraft has done, there's World of Warcraft and there's Classic, and now, you know, in another potential Classic Plus coming. Those are 3 different MMOs running simultaneously in the same game. They aren't even that different, and it's successful for Blizzard. I think if you look at EverQuest, you got EverQuest 1 and EverQuest 2, and EverQuest 1 is on like expansion 27 or something now, which is incredible, and it's awesome to see. And I think Final Fantasy is another great example of how many Final Fantasies have there been, and even different versions of 7 now. And they've got multiple MMOs in the Final Fantasy space that are successful. There's a lot of examples across the industry of this approach being successful in the same way it's been successful for us, for Guild Wars 1 and for Guild Wars 2.
That's exactly what I was thinking about, Snixie.
Here to carve out another type of Guild Wars within the MMO space for players to play. And I think our strategy of connecting those experiences together is part of what makes ArenaNet and Guild Wars.
I think it's going to be
the
an
Hall of Monuments
MMO
concept,
in the sense
where
that
you
it's
get
going to have
rewards in Guild Wars 2
a shared
for
world
playing Guild Wars
experience.
1 was originally
But,
concepted as a
like,
way
think
for
about
us to
this.
say
People
thank you to
say
all of our
Destiny
Guild
2 is
Wars
an MMO.
fans who played Guild Wars 1, and to keep our studio pillar alive of we respect your time, we respect your investment.
You know what I mean?
And we wanted to feel like all of that time and investment you made in Guild Wars 1, we were going to respect it when we released Guild Wars 2. But it did something magical that we never really expected, which is over years and years that followed, it continually drove Guild Wars 2 players back to play Guild Wars 1, now called Guild Wars Reforged, to get all of those rewards. And it created this franchise ecosystem.
You're not going to have World
where the two
PvP,
games
Ghetto.
could live
They've already
alongside
said
one
that it's
another.
not going to have World
And
PvP.
now, in
World
retrospect,
PvP.
I wish that we had much earlier
said
invested a lot
they're
more.
creating a world where
into
people can
Guild
play
Wars
together.
Reforged to try to nurture that ecosystem and allow both of those games to run. And it's part of what we're doing, why we're doing today. And it's
They
the
could have
same
an
reason we're
instance
doing
thing
now a
like
much
World v
more
World.
expansive
That could
Hall
be
of
a thing.
Monuments 2.0 and connecting Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 3 together is first and foremost, it's a way for us to say thank you, to continue our pillar of your time is respected, your investment is respected.
That'd be more of a co-op, not
in
an
the Guild
MMO.
Wars
They
franchise.
tag survival games as
so all that
MMOs.
time you
Yeah,
put into
I
Guild
agree
Wars
with that.
2, not only are we going to keep supporting Guild Wars 2 because we want to respect your time.
My question is, do you
but if
guys
you love Guild Wars 3, there's
did
a
you guys
bunch of thank yous
consider
waiting for you
New
in the
World
game
an
as well.
MMO?
But also it creates an ecosystem where everyone who plays Guild Wars 3 for the first time, it's an opportunity for them to go back into Guild Wars 2, play the game, and get all of those rewards. And that is a very uniquely ArenaNet experience of having a Hall of Monuments that lives at the center.
Because New World
in
servers
a
were
sense,
capped to like
almost
5,000
kind of-
people.
It's like a Manifesto 2.0, but not for a game, but for our studio. Of we want to have an ecosystem that our games are connected together, that your
Like, at
investment
what
and
point
rewards are
do
connected
we
together and
say
respected, and that you feel like
this
you can
many
play any
people
of
is
our
not
Guild Wars
enough to
games
be
and
an
have
MMO?
that,
Like, what's that number,
connection
right?
to
And
the
I feel like that
franchise
number's
that pays
different
off
for
you
different
in the long
people.
run, and that you can have very different experiences in them. And this is, you know, the last thing I'll say on this. Sorry, this is real
great.
passion. This is one of my core passions for ArenaNet, and we've been talking about internally for years now about where we want to go. And so it's so cool to be able to tell people finally externally that this is what we want to do. I think there's a version of this that someday after Guild Wars 3 releases, where, you know, there's always that lull in the games you play of like between updates.
Yep.
You know, you ship an update
Exactly.
and then you wait a while.
They
until
want to
the next one's
schedule
gonna
the
ship,
different
and there's kind of a
updates so that
time
you're
fall off in
always going
between,
into one of
where
the
things
Guild
are at
Wars.
their least exciting until you announce the next update. I think there's a version of this that can be really compelling for us, where when one game is in its lull moment, we're announcing and releasing the newest update in another game. And so our games can kind of leapfrog off of one another. And if you are just a Guild Wars fan, you're in heaven. There's stuff going on all the time for you across all of our games. And if you just love one of our games, that's okay too, and we're going to keep updating it. But that we're able to stagger and have.
And that's what I
our
mean, right,
ecosystems
Danny?
of games
Pally
support
only
one
has
another
25 people, and
have
people
their
consider it an
updates
MMO.
offset
It's
from
like,
one another. I think there's something really
what's that
compelling
number
there,
look like for
and
you
we don't know
guys?
exactly what that's going to look like. I think, you know, obviously we have to do the really hard things of like shipping a new game and making sure that it's a game that people actually like.
Because in
and
terms of
continuing to
open
support
world,
GW2 and everything that we want to do with Reforged,
most
that is
MMOs
incredibly-
these
these are all
days
easy things to
do
say,
not
they're
have
very
an
hard
open
things for us
world
to do, but we have to go do all of those things first.
outside of
But if it
Black
works,
Desert.
there's a version of this in the future that I think is
And I'm talking
is
about
really cool to dream about. Of
open-
someday we
like
could be at that
MMOs
point,
that are
where that's
alive,
what the Guild Wars franchise
that
is.
have not
And then
died.
who knows where we go from there?
You
I
have
don't think
Black
it's a dream.
Desert,
I think we're actively taking steps
and you have
towards
World of Warcraft.
achieving that. So
This
And-
last weekend was a huge first step
That's it.
towards that. And the work we've
For
done the
open
last
world.
3 years has been setting the table for that, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know, anything else there that you want to?
Oh, you crushed it. You know, it was great. You know, you should be the studio head or something. I don't know. I think you got the right stuff for the job, kid.
Like, Nate, tell me another open world MMO.
No, you know, I guess maybe this is going to be probably an obvious thing to say out loud, but we talk a lot about these games being very different, and like I know that folks will find out much more about that in the coming
Because
months.
you load maps in Final Fantasy. Throne and Liberty, yeah, I guess.
Is that these games
is
are
it still
on
alive?
timelines in Interior, right? And so like there's going to be stories.
Throne and Liberty still alive?
Opportunities for stories to tell in Guild Wars
Yeah,
2
that would be
are
one.
a possibility in 3, and the same thing is true for Reforged as well, right? You know, I hate to break it to folks, and maybe I'm breaking some news here.
Define Alive
behind these projects
hasn't been sunset by the studio.
So you know, I hate to break that to folks. I don't know if there's some hope for that one. But you know, but there's a whole cast of characters that folks have come to love.
Okay, then yeah, it's
and,
alive.
You know, what
But yeah, that would be
Interior's
another
like
one, right?
in the
But that's what I'm
current
saying. Like,
Guild Wars
look
2
at
is different from what's
look
going
at
on
how
in Guild Wars
many
3. And so,
MMOs are
you know, a lot of folks
instance
have a lot of,
based these days, right? They may have large
technical
maps
characters, really
like
like
Guild
fun
Wars,
stories to tell.
ESO,
Maybe go back and close.
but
some
there's still
open source
instanced
threads,
maps.
that still exist in the game. But there's so much left to explore left in Guild Wars 2. Yeah, I'm just very
I'll
excited.
be on.
So
It's instanced
many
maps.
compelling characters and storylines and you know, threads that we've left
Final
open
Fantasy,
in Guild Wars
instanced
2
maps.
to explore for decades to come. And I think, you know, I saw, this wasn't in our things we were going to talk about either, but
Going off script?
off script. Here we go. We've only done it about 100
ESO,
times so far
instanced
already.
maps.
Why not one more? You know, I saw a lot of comments as people talked about the different timelines of, you know, one of the things that makes Guild Wars 2 unique is the technology, and it's, you know,
I think the
it is a
one
little
thing that we
Magitech
can
and a
all
little
agree
bit of
on
sci-fi
here
has
is
blended
that
itself in. And as that
MMOs
timeline
have been
continues to
around for
move
so
forward, we're
long
gonna
that
continue to see
everybody's
the advances
perception
in the
of
world
MMOs
Tyria.
is
And one
different.
of the reasons we picked the timeline we did for Guild Wars 3 is very intentionally, it's a very different experience. You're talking about a timeline of high fantasy where there is almost no technology compared to even what GW1 had. And the technological advances from Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2 are massive when you compare them to the amount of technological advances.
I don't really understand what an MMO light means.
The technological advances in that period of time.
To be honest, right? I've always
across that period of
wondered
time.
what
And I think
exactly
it allows us to
is an
have Guild
MMO
Wars 2
light.
is a game that has a really, especially now, some of the stuff the Asura and the Char have created. There's some really cool, unique feels to that game and that world that won't exist in Guild Wars 3. That will feel different. That will feel more.
Char people
more
are so pissed.
Grounded, high fantasy experience.
He said
a
it.
Different time and a
Rip
different era.
Chars.
And I think that even though each of those games will have their own storylines, their own characters, their own
MMO is just a
settings,
trigger
we're gonna
word now. It
continue to
doesn't mean
expand
anything.
constantly
That
across
I
all
think
three
that
of
the
games.
industry has
There also is
blended
places
that
where they
word
will
so
connect
much that
together and
it's
have stories
losing
that crisscross
what
across
it
those
meant.
storylines. Guild Wars 1, in many ways, set up so many of the stories that you experience in Guild Wars 2. And some of the things you're going to experience in Guild Wars 3 are things that have been set up in Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 over the last 21 plus years of the franchise. And who knows in the future how some of those stories, there may be things that happen in the different games. That
So
have
what's the
connections to
difference
stories that
between
have
me
happened
leaving
in
a
the game.
town and joining
In
a
ways that we
map
think are really
in
cool and have
in
been
Guild Wars than
really fun to
me
watch people speculate all weekend long.
loading
Lore
into
videos
Earth in
and
Destiny?
Even the timeline and me misspeaking on the timeline in an interview the other day. Whoops. All of that stuff has created a huge amount of speculation and discussion. And that's the point. That's part of the joy of this, is allowing these mysteries. I think that's one of the great things about the Guild Wars franchise, is we leave enough mysteries and question marks and stories for people to explore and theorize and make fan videos on and debate. And we don't want to stop that. We want to keep having more of those while answering some of those questions that then open new ones. And you're going to see a lot of that both in the coming years and far into the future as well.
A Guild Wars map instance that
It's fun to think
disappears
about
eventually. It's
everything
a
ahead of
layered
us.
map, right?
All right.
The
I don't
map
know,
exists always,
We're done with that question.
but it's layers that
well,
have
speaking
people
of
on
the
it.
future,
Think of like
I think our
channels and
last
video.
question, this is a good one for you, Josh. What does Guild Wars 2 look like 5 to 10 years from now?
Yeah, this is a great question. You You know, I think I forgot what I said in the video. Exactly.
You can argue WoW retail is more MMO light now. Every single expansion in WoW is
I think we feel
an MMO light, pretty much. You don't. There's no way for you to fly from the Eastern Kingdoms into any of the new zones.
And spending all of their time.
Well, now in this expansion, yeah, but most of those maps were all instances.
Like goal. But like, how do you do that, right? Like, how do you make sure that people feel like their time's being valued, that they're getting enough from the experience? Well, we got to keep delivering, obviously, right?
But I don't think that's what MMO light is. I'm just saying,
multiple.
I'm laying out the example that you guys are giving me.
We've made some pretty good headway on our modernization.
Just to be clear, you said a couple of years from now, multiple expansions would have shipped.
Oh, sorry, 5 to 10 years from now, we'll have many.
Just to make sure everybody is clear, that's not happening in the next 2 years. So.
Oh my gosh. Should I start over?
No, you're good. In the next 5 to 10 years, there'll be more expansions.
Point is, looking out 5 to 10 years from now, we'll have multiple expansions out. I think hopefully
charge layers are still spaces people can join freely. That is what you consider MMO light, Slixy?
It does sound really close to monetization.
MMO used to
also
be a living, breathing place that has story and social tools to meet others and play, fight, and see everyone in the server.
That one.
But I don't think it makes it not an MMO.
The Reforged, well, that's taken.
Oh yeah. I don't know. We'll come up. We'll get the marketing team on it to help us out.
Social tools to meet others.
But yeah, anyways, like, I'm hoping that we see a lot of great improvements in the modernization work that we're going to be doing, which I'm again personally very excited about.
Hopefully, story. MMO used to be a living, breathing place that has story and social tools to meet others.
Fidelity and optimization and whatnot will be very visible and present in the new content we're developing.
But see, if we use that definition, OJ, then Dauntless was an MMO.
To explore still that we want to.
You see what I mean? This is where the point I'm trying to make here is that none of us know exactly. There's no clear definition what an MMO is, right? And experiences have shifted so much between different titles that have put the MMO tag on their name that it's so hard to really say what is and isn't a traditional MMO anymore.
Right now,
right?
But we're gonna get back at it here very shortly. Actually, expansions take a while to develop, so we'll actually be starting.
Does it need to be defined
next year?
There we go. That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't think it needs to be defined.
Again,
right? And that's what I'm saying for Guild Wars 3 is I don't think it needs to be defined as a traditional true MMO.
More of what they love, which is what you love about Guild Wars 2.
All it matters is that this game, even if they weren't going to call it an MMO,
it hits everything. The fun thing about this is
has a different experience than Guild Wars 2. I think that the ArenaNet is happy with that experience.
Technical issues aside, I think it's been going okay. But obviously,
because everything shows so far that this game is going to be a different experience than Guild Wars 2, while having some similarities that have the ArenaNet DNA in it.
As you folks have thoughts and feedback, one, if it's about the game itself, there's a new forum that we've launched. You should go drop your comments there. Complain about event timers specifically. But if you've got other thoughts and feedback, obviously.
Well, that's the thing, right? I think the disappointment people are feeling
very excited, looking forward
to
that.
And we've got our official Discord now. Great place
very,
to go to discuss all of this.
It's very premature
for years in the future. And as Josh said, that we have.
I think that's what it is. It's their expectations.
What do you want to see improved in GW2?
Because who knows?
Josh said it
people
earlier,
can.
Please don't write. Josh said we should do this.
They could give a completely different experience in Guild Wars 3.
But you can go in there and anything that you're excited about.
They can give a completely different experience in Guild Wars 3. And what if it is considered in 5 years from now
and I think
the best experience for a Guild Wars game?
Thousands of questions across this weekend. And so if we didn't cover one of the ones that you thought was most important, we did our best to pick out the ones that we thought were most impactful that we could talk about right now. I think also we didn't want to pick ones that we would just basically say we can't say anything about that right now.
But that's what it confuses me though, because MMO Lite means what exactly? Less people on the screen, but then how many people is considered less for it to be less than an MMO?
Here even very soon.
Actually, this just dawned on me. I do want to add that I know it's been a little uncomfortably silent from the Guild Wars 2 team in recent months, and I think obviously now it's probably pretty clear as to why that was the case. It was hard to talk about,
which is everywhere in Dauntless. You can't. There's also open world as an open area. Yeah, and I think so what I think we would prefer. Right, and I'm talking about we as the channel here, you guys, what I'm listening and hearing from you guys is we would prefer a more social sandbox environment
now that that's out in the open, I think it allows us to
not as much an MMO, but more a social sandbox environment that's connected in the open world.
The final update for this Guild Wars 2 expansion completes.
Does that sound closer to what
going on? I think that was really important to us, is to maintain that transparency.
Does that sound closer to what you guys are talking about?
Where's the game going? And we didn't want you to get to the last update for VOE and look around and go, well, now what's coming next? We wanted to answer that question before we got there. And so, yeah, you know where we're headed, and now we can talk more about GW2 as well. But we've got a huge update coming for Guild Wars Reforged, coming out on mobile devices this summer. We've got our next major QR coming.
Biggest QR, actually. I know QA is
I would argue, Anton, nowadays,
it'll be our biggest QR
people are more inclined to want
by the end of the year, we've got our new Hall of
smaller
Monuments 2.0
social
will have its first
interactions,
release.
not
Very
less.
exciting there. And then we've got tons more news for Guild Wars 3 that you'll hear as time goes on, too. So there's a heck of a lot going on with the Guild Wars franchise right now.
Most
people
really playing these games do not like large-scale anything.
Josh said it earlier, and I think it bears
and would rather have more intimate engagements with the content,
really healthy, with lots
smaller
of people
groups,
and they're continually being updated. And we know that's what all of you want out of the
can
game.
tackle
That's the same thing that we
large problems.
Happen with all of our games.
I would argue
hopefully,
more people feel that way these days.
Plan and the path that we're on ensures that happens. Certainly, 4 days in, the results are pretty spectacular. But we know that we got a long ways to go and a lot of beats ahead of us. But we really appreciate everyone's support, all of the positive reactions, and also constructive feedback that we've had too. Both are very, very much appreciated. And it'd be really fun if 15 years from now we're back here having conversations about where the franchise is as a result of everything that we talked about today.
And we said jokingly Guild Wars 4 and Roller Beetle Racing earlier, that was a joke.
Yes, please
to be clear.
Don't quote us on that.
It's a little
That's
premature
right.
for that one.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody. Really
MMOs just need that shared persistent world as a core.
Some of the stumbles with this, but
I like that. I could agree with that. I think a shared persistent world at the core
you'll know it didn't work.
is important, but doesn't have to define what the game is completely. Look, I'm with you guys, okay? I'm not saying I don't want these things. But what I'm basically... Now they want to just blow our eardrums out. Okay. Look, I'm with you guys. I'm not saying I don't want these things. What I'm trying to say is that I'm basically trying to prepare you guys for disappointment is how I feel. I'm trying to just get it in, help us all realize that Guild Wars 3 may not have that, but it still was probably going to be a good MMO. That's what it's coming down to. It may not have the large environment and the large social aspects that you guys are thinking about. Trying to prepare people for disappointment is wild. What do you mean, bro? Man hyped himself so much he needed a break. I can't even argue that. Like, there's nowhere where this is a lose-lose conversation for me. By the way, guys, come join the guild. Let's go. Hop in. You guys want to play with me? I know you guys want to play. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Join my guild. Are you disappointed? Did you make a new guild? No, it's the same one. You're already in it. What's up, Foolish? What do you think if what if Guild Wars 3 is DOA? What do you think would happen? What do you think if a big what if? Are you saying like what happens if Guild Wars 3 is DOA? Could very well happen. I don't put it again across anybody that's not a possibility, because it could very well be a possibility in the way that games are made these days. I've seen it firsthand. I've worked on some that have just that the projects have been killed. Not MMOs, but just worked on some games that have projects killed. What do I think would happen? Nothing. I think we would be right where we're at right now in this on today, on June 9th. We will be right in the same place we are as if the game never existed. Because I think MMO players are so down bad, and we're so accustomed to failing in this genre, that we would just go back to playing the same shit that we've been playing. To be honest. You guys laugh, but you know it's true. You know it's true. We'll go right back to playing the same shit we've been playing for the last 15 fucking years. Because we're all creatures of habit. I don't want a low odds soon. Listen, bro, I want more than anything for a Western MMO to come out and be successful. I feel like that is number one top priority for me, is to have a MMO come out in the West that's not 10, 12, 13, 14 years old, and it be actually successful. I would want nothing more than that. We're like that one ex you can't let go. True though. Wait, let's see. Let's look at a good old Steam DB on our brother in Christ Lost Ark. $6,000 concurrent right now. It's consistently losing players month by month. That's what I meant, OJ. I want an MMO in the West that hasn't come out in the last 10 years be successful. That would make me very happy to see. See, this is the thing that makes me laugh about this. So no one really knows what a perfect MMO is, because we all have our different opinions and takes on what the perfect MMO is. That's what makes this genre so hard to design for, in my opinion. What is perfection? Exactly. That's exactly the point. Nobody knows, or nobody can agree on it.
Welcome, fellow members of Destiny's Edge. We must speak of the threat of the Elder Dragons.
When I agreed to come, I didn't know you'd be inviting this char.
I could say the same for you, human. Finally crawling back.
I already had assumptions about Guild Wars 3, but now I feel like I need to temper and step back and wait for them to tell me what it's going to be.
Logan,
what were your
Whitlock,
assumptions?
Enough
I'm
of your
curious.
squabbling. Kaith, I doubt that we can unite again. Not after our last mistake.
Arcade
The
was
Norn's
close.
right.
Arcade just
When
needed
heirs
better
to
PvE
Galton
and less
makes
pay to win.
mistakes, people die.
I truly
Is that
believe a
what you
lot of
think,
us that
Serja?
feel
what
like
happened was
Arcade
my
was close
fault?
to perfection only
Please,
played
all of you, our
for
time
the
has
first
come.
year.
We must help the Orders. We've fought the
Because
Elder
as that
Dragons
game
before.
continued to progress, it was
Lost
owned by credit
because
card warriors
someone couldn't keep up with us.
and
You have something to say it to my face.
ran into the
I
ground
would if
by
you weren't
mega
always
guilds that
running
would just
away.
swipe their way
I
to
should
success.
gut you and be done with it.
Gut me? With what? That human-made sword you looted from Ascalon? I've had enough. We're done here.
Running away again.
Ritlock, you're just making it worse.
Ha! Look who's talking. Logan's right, for once. I have more important things to do. I'm done
Oh,
with this.
like a
And
like
I
a
refuse to
World of
waste my
Warcraft ship.
efforts on cowards and fools.
Well, I don't even know if I can we call World of
It's
Warcraft
sad to see Logan and Ritlock argue.
massive scale?
If
I guess
only there was
old
something
World of
to
Warcraft
bond
you
them
can.
together. Yes,
But
I
I've-
know what might help. Kate, I
I've
have to
been
leave as
in
well.
those
I fear this
boss
meeting was a
fights in open
mistake,
world
but maybe I can
where there's
fix it.
40 people on
We
screen.
failed.
And I feel like WoW struggles
Failed to
nowadays
bring
to have 40
Destiny's Edge
people on the
back together.
screen, bro.
We cannot help the others. How can we help
The
Tyrion?
open world, I feel like when you go to these world boss fights, that shit is so laggy. Yeah, that surprised me too, Shep. I agree with that. Yeah, and see, that's the thing is like I think a lot of us also think about these MMOs with rose-tinted glasses, right? Trust me, bro. Chat, I'm with you guys. I think Arcade is probably one of the best MMOs I've ever played. But I also have to be honest with myself and look at, there's a reason why it died. There's a reason why Arcade was not able to keep the lights on. I think it did have the most potential, Denny. I could agree with that. Yeah. I think Arcade did have the most potential. Can I get that key? Hell no, I'm about to get a weapon skin. Right now. Wildstar had some potential too, yeah. Did Wildstar have the most potential? It had the most potential to break into the market that WoW created. I think Arcade had the most potential to be the best sandbox MMO on the market. There was 120 combinations in Arcade. Terra, dude, unironically, Terra, if they came out with like a Terra remastered, I think people would lose their shit. Like, imagine a Terra remastered, people would lose their shit. Right here. Boom. Garbage.
Apples, fresh and crisp.
The spoils of battle.
Kind of wish I had played the Terra private server. I'm so like against private servers, man. I don't know why, I just have a thing against them. I feel like they're a waste of time, waste of money. Maybe if I wasn't streaming, you know, like maybe I'd be more open to them, but yeah. I swear I updated that command or that timer. Yeah, I swear I updated this timer. The school. There we go. There we go. Owned by Crafton? I actually don't know. They're MMO. And Mass Entertainment, Game Forge till 2022. Nexon in Korea. NHN Play Art in Japan. Looks like Game Forge had it last. I don't know if they still have it though. Well, that's the developer, right? But I'm not sure if they publish it, because it's saying that there's different publishers here.
Curved glass and ornate steel comprise this mighty installation. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to stand under it if an earthquake were to happen.
Oh, they did Ion too?
Note, let's continue.
Oh, clients, portfolio clients. I'm not playing Ion 2, no. I know it's stupid for me to say that as a content creator, but I did not like it in China when I played it, when it came out. And especially like me trying to build the channel up again, probably the dumbest fucking thing for me to say, right? But I honestly did not like anything really about the game. The combat felt clunky. The world did not feel engaging to me. The gearing process felt bad. The characters themselves and the story felt just like a typical Korean story that doesn't really put any effort into character development. The just knowing the type of monetization that you have to jump through in that game in China really killed it for me. Knowing how pay to win that game is, which by the way does not determine me playing a game or not, but it was just like all these different things that I already didn't like about the game, and on top of that you had to add on all these subscriptions so that you can at least do basic features like use the auction house, was kind of like the nail in the coffin for me. Like I don't care about pay to win. I fucking play Korean MMOs. I don't care. But I just wasn't having fun. Like at the end of the day, I just wasn't having fun. Like that's what it came down to. Honestly, I could say everything about the game I didn't like, but at the end of the day, I was bored playing it. Oh shit, chat. The current, I just got an email. Because remember when Guild Wars 3 got announced, I tried to purchase the Guild Wars GW3 website. You guys remember that? I actually sent my email in and phone number for them to call me. They just called me and sent me a quote by email. Thank you for your inquiry into the domain GW3.com. Based on many criterias, The current owner has determined a value of $155,000. They are open to offers. Please don't hesitate to make one. Oh my God. I'm gonna respond and be like, I got about 350. $155,000. What do you think he like? What do you think he like? How do you think he decided on this number? Like, what do you think he was thinking in his head? What did he look up? Do you know what I'm saying? Did he go to a website and type in like daily traffic and calculate some number? 155,000 is hilarious. What is this person's name? The voices in my head are too loud. Ah, that's the guild he's in. I like his skin. That is crazy. $155,000. This no, it's just a regular NPC riding on a boomstick.
All prices are non-negotiable.
He looks creepy. Oh, his eyes look cool. I must be really tall. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm on my Nord. Let me go tell Zeta I got 100K to spend on a website. I promise you we'll get our money back. I'm actually surprised ArenaNet didn't just purchase that before they announced anything. Do you think they think the person has been holding on to that for years and ArenaNet reached out and they were just like $155,000 and ArenaNet was just like, yeah, screw you. We're not paying that. If it was ANET speaking, I would triple that. You think they would actually pay it if you tripled it? $300,000 or what? No, 150. Like what? 450.
The Dermond Priory is a bastion of history, containing the collected wisdom of the ages. For 200 years, we've stood upon a foundation of lore, research, and exploration. When Lion's Arch was flooded by the rise of the nation of Or, our forebearers rescued the city's survivors. We salvaged knowledge that would otherwise have been lost. Now, as the dragons ravage ever greater expanses of Tyria,
I'll talk about this.
We must do even more. We must discover the truths that Tyria needs to survive. where the dragons came from, why, and how to end their threat. The Priory is dedicated to learning. Siren, one of our most cunning scholars, will provide tutelage to help you gain wisdom that you will need.
I don't think I've ever done the Priory, so this is kind of cool.
Dermond, our founder, said it best. Your power is only equal to the sum of your knowledge. If that's true, then we're Tyria's best hope to survive the darkness gathering on the horizon.
Damn, I like their cutscenes.
Welcome to the Dermond Priory.
Yeah, I've always done the Whispers, the Vigil, the Whispers, is it? The one with the red and black was the one I always used to pick. I forgot which one that is. Is that the skin of the dude? No, I don't think so. That one was like see-through. Welcome to the Dermond Priory. Well, we're in the Dermond now.
Rattling home in no time. It'll be scary.
Is mine.
Ah, here you are. You must be the new
Order of
novice
the
I was
Whispers.
sent to
Yeah,
retrieve.
the black and red one.
I'm a Magister of the Order, but we don't need to use titles. Just call me Siren.
Happy to meet you. I'm looking forward to working with the Dermond Priory.
It's nice to see that you're enthusiastic. I know I'm supposed to take you straight back to the Priory, but I'd like to take a little side trip. While I was waiting for you, Explorer Kecht was telling me this really interesting story about an old dwarven tomb. And guess what? It's right on our way.
Everybody, all the Savara salads.
I'll still take you to meet Steward Dix at the main Priory building, but I want to have a bit of fun first.
Magister Siren, you're not listening to me. I don't even know if the story is true.
I actually think I had a Savari
What if
called
this tomb
Tossing
doesn't even exist?
before.
What if it's just a legend?
Oh, Kecht, stop being a spoilsport. If I ignore this, those skulky dredge might find the tomb first. And how would that turn out? They'd destroy it. Come on. It won't hurt anything to go look around a bit. The novice doesn't mind, right?
Exploring an ancient tomb on my
You
first day
lost
in the
your
Order?
Guild Wars 2 account?
Sounds
No,
fun.
wait, what?
I don't mind at all.
You just told me that you
And
had
it's
it.
settled. I'll meet you at Moland Summit, novice. Don't keep me waiting, okay?
Wait, what are you talking about, Shep? Oh, that was Guild Wars 1. Wait, Shep, did you guys finish? Did you guys clear? Tranquil Flame. Magni the Vast. Whoa. Nice. Let's go, dude. Hell yeah. So the reason for that, Shep, is that Steam and your old account are not linked. I think you could possibly link them on the website, but that may be wrong. Steam, yeah, Steam and the personal, like the ArenaNet website accounts are not the same. But the good news is, whenever we do have gem code giveaways on the channel, if you have a non-Steam account, you can claim them. So there you go. The more you know. You could probably check the account page. on the ArenaNet website to see if everything is lined up correctly, because I think Danny had to do the same. She had started on a different email, and then she found the email of the account that I gave her, and that one had all the expansions on it. Wait, is this Danny right here? Oh, you got your mount. Hell yeah. Damn, you're already 46. Let's go. Dude, the mounts in this game have just, look how much control you have even when you're in the air. Kind of cool. And you're not on ice skates. Yeah. Are you starting to get into it a little bit? All right, let's go. Dude, I still don't know what type of build I want to do on Ellie. I don't know anything about these Ellie specs. I've been going completely blind into building this Ellie. I may look at some elite specs to see which one I want to aim for. I don't know how any of these play. Where do I gotta go? Oh, we gotta go back here. Oh, I want my Griffin, man. Next week, chat, my schedule opens up a bit. Today was a nice little stream, but this week's gonna be very rough for stream time.
Look at these glorious snow-dusted mountains.
It's gonna be pretty late when I'm able to get on, so just a heads up. This week's gonna be a little weird stream time because
Can you believe the ancient
I have a
dwarves
lot of
thought this was a good place for
stuff
a
I need to
tomb?
get done before next week.
It feels so alive. Such a strange choice.
It's beautiful, but I'll admit I don't know much about dwarves.
Zach, thank you for
What's
the
so
sub on
interesting
YouTube, bro.
about this
Appreciate
tomb?
you.
The dwarves are almost extinct, but in their time, they knew a lot about the dragons. The Priory studies
You do
dwarven
really like map
tombs to learn as
completion?
much as
Well,
we
if you
can.
like map completion, that's about
This tomb's
90%
completely
of what you need to do for your legendaries.
If there hadn't been a little
So,
earthquake, it would have stayed buried
that's
beneath
good.
rocks and ice. Keck's old scrolls said this was the tomb of a dwarven prince. It might have... Uh-oh. Look at those dig marks.
So what?
Dredge.
Oh,
Shoots
bro,
and
I'm
thorns.
15.
I knew
My brain
the
is.
dredge would find
I'm
this
15
place.
years old in
That's
my brain.
why I wanted to come right away. See, the dredge were once enslaved by dwarves. They'll destroy anything dwarven. Once this cave opened up, they probably flocked here like jackdaws to a bone.
Then we'd better hurry. Hey, do you hear that? Siren, watch out!
What's your favorite race, chat?
Let's do this then.
You will not steal our artifacts!
Oh, too far.
Watch your step. These dredge are good at getting underfoot.
Let's see. I kind of like the spear a bit. Go back to the spear for a little bit. Honestly, The daggers feel really, really good too. I'm so torn, man.
Certainly dwarven.
I like them all.
Keep searching. Maybe we can find more.
Fury is mine.
I need the sky. I want the sky skill on the Griffin. I know I'm already gonna get the sky skill though through Secrets of Obscure, so I'm not too worried about that. But the Griffin's the one I heard is a little harder to farm.
Those are fiery explorers. We have to get them out.
My raven's wings. No one was supposed to know about our expedition.
Yeah, dude, the birthday gifts are great.
Too much has been
Send
forgotten.
us?
Let me see. Do I have?
Sure. Geek sent us. That's why we're here.
Yeah, look at this.
He sent us.
Much appreciated.
Look at
When I
my
see
look
you
at my
at the
warehouse
Priory,
from
I'll buy
just
you an ale.
birthday gifts and boosters that you get throughout the years. I should probably take some of these XP boosts out and use them actually while I'm leveling, to be honest. Let me see which one. Birthday boosters. All right, I'll take. Chat, how do you do? Can you split a stack? Oh God, I just. All right, well, I'm not using it now. Wait, is it on? Oh, what did I do? Yeah, I think that's the hard part, right? Is just getting the gold for it.
Might makes me right.
That was interesting. Another artifact.
You idiots, we were too late.
This is too much ability. Think we can find anything else?
I couldn't get it in time.
Who are you? What are you doing here? Dwarf sympathizers, I'll bet.
Dwarf
We want to know the
sympathizers.
importance of this tomb. What can you tell us?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Come, let's show them the meaning of buried and forgotten.
Not much of a conversationalist, is it? Quickly.
Ouch. Oh! Ow!
Bring me down.
I need assistance.
Wait, you went invulnerable for a second. What happened there? Yo! That just puts it to level 60? Yeah, so been a while since you played. So
That talking
when
tree's
you're
gone
doing
crazy. Get it off
PvP
me.
and
I'll
just
tell you
random
anything.
things
Just
in the
let me
game,
go.
once you're level 80, you get these things called
This talking tree will tear your limbs
tomes
off,
of experience,
buddy.
I think they're called.
Is this all you found in the tomb, or did your people destroy some of the
basically,
relics?
each one of those
relics are
tomes
nothing compared to. We tried
give
to
you
shatter it,
one
but we couldn't. It was too powerful.
give you
Nothing
one
could
level.
harm it.
And so
Destroy what? Another relic?
you could
One
just
like
use those on
these?
any character.
Junk. No. It
You could
was a
even use this on a
sword.
max level
We
character
sent
to
it
get
the
XP to
southern
get more
wall,
mastery
hoping
points.
to find some way to destroy it.
Death
to the dwarves.
What's actually really cool is that
Sword.
let's say you didn't want to play the game, but you just wanted PvP. You could make a level 3 character, go into the structured PvP because it's a different game mode, and just farm tomes from just doing PvP, and then just level your character to 80 that way as well.
Imagination.
Damn, look at OG back on Guild Wars 2. How you been, brother? It's been so long. What's up, bro? How you been, brother? How you been, man? I'm looking to get back into Guild Wars, man, for sure. Like, actually play a bit of everything in the game and really dive in deep, especially now with Guild Wars 3 on the horizon. I think it's a good time to come back and check it out. So we've been here for like a week now. About a week, yeah. Just trying to get back into the swing of things. Ion 2 has my heart at the moment. I literally just talked about how much I don't like Ion 2 like 10-15 minutes ago. That's good. As long as people are enjoying it, I'm happy for y'all. See, I'm not gonna shit in people's cereal. If you guys like a specific MMO, I'm not gonna crap on it. Everybody, there's so many different flavors of ice cream. No reason why we should all be picking one. Oh god, I'm gonna kill myself trying to get this. Nailed it. Nailed it. Come on, you can do it. Come on. You can do it. Oh, you're such a cheater. I just went back to Final Fantasy 14, so I'm just waiting for global release. But yeah, Guild Wars 3 has been thinking, getting it go. Yeah, I mean, you have plenty of time before you have to decide there, right? We haven't even seen gameplay of the game yet. I have a feeling they're gonna drop a trailer at the Game Awards. That would be my guess for the next bit of news we're gonna get from Guild Wars 3.
He'll be mad for all of 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll see something at the Game Awards. That trailer felt really short too, so it's probably going to be an extension of that trailer. Plus, we have Evercold news soon in what?
Magister Siren, yet again
November?
you neglect your duty to go on
September?
an adventure.
November? When's the next
You're completely out
fan
of
fest?
control, you blasted weed. You're very lucky my expedition team needed your help to get out of there. I'm going to go easy on you. This time. But if I ever find out that you ever risk another novice's life on one of your little curiosities...
Wait, the next fan fest is in July?
I'll ruin your ears. Mark my words.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Newcomer. I'm sorry for all the trouble. Siren is something of a firecracker.
The novice did very well, Steward. Don't fuss. Look, we even recovered these unusual
really?
artifacts.
Oh shit. Okay, I thought
Won't
it
you
was
translate the
later.
writing for us, Gix?
Don't wheedle me, you leaf-addled reprobate. Why I tolerate him... Oh, my goodness.
Well, that means that we get
This
Fan
is
Fest and
fascinating.
Heidelball
Tell
in
me,
July.
was anything missing from the cave?
Yes, the dredge had taken a weapon from the cave.
I really
That's
have
a
to pee.
wonderful guess.
I need
Guess
this
something
text.
else,
I need
Gix.
this
This is fun.
quest to
By the
finish talking.
cogs of creation, they took the sanguinary blade. It's a legendary sword made of frozen blood. The weapon was lost when the stone summit dwarves vanished.
A sword made of blood? What kind of blood could possibly be made into a weapon?
The worst kind. Dragon blood. Magister, novice, you must find that blade and bring it safely to the Priory.
We're on it, sir. You can count on us.
These artifacts are amazing.
I wish I could get hooked on Final Fantasy
His name
14.
was
What's holding you back?
Agnar Stonepate, apparently, and he was tremendously famous.
Famous then, dead today.
All right, give me one sec, chat. Destiny 2's at 100K players. Hold on. Let me see. Holy, what's going on in Destiny? Wait, what the? Jesus. Wait, what's going on in Destiny? The last update. Do you think Bungie actually takes back what they said?
What should I do?
Our field scholars require our assistance. You'd best get to work.
Do you think they'll actually double back and be like, my bad, guys, we will support this long term? Let's see. Destiny 2. Give us D3. Oh my god, bro. Look at this category. Shared stream, shared stream, shared stream, shared stream, shared stream, shared stream. Yeah, I wouldn't touch foot in this category. Everybody's just boosting each other's viewers. Okay. Destiny's a good game, though. Destiny's a good game. It deserves to stay alive. I don't think it's smart at all for them to sunset that game. I mean, it makes me respect ArenaNet even more for what they're doing. Just fully investing into their other products. If anything, I would have thought they would reduce the amount of investment that they're putting into Marathon and put it back into Destiny. Chat, you think I should just walk around and start randomly guild inviting these people? Wait, what? Wait, what did that just say? Maximum member limit has been reached. Talk to a guild registrar to apply for a larger guild. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna have to start kicking people that haven't logged in 7 years. I think 7 years is safe, right, chat? We're safe with 7 years. 4 years probably as well. Yeah. What do you think? 3 years too? Maybe 3? What do you think? 2? Should we kick the 2s?
I'm fairly certain you heard the word wrong.
What about 1 year? Maybe we keep it to 1 year. Yeah? Maybe 1 year. Maybe we stop at 1 year. I'm keeping Zeta here because she may play again. Or should we cut the 1 years? What do you think? There you go. There you go. Here, so just in case I don't say it randomly. Look. Here you go. This is how you recruit people these days. Hello. Welcome to the guild. The guild hall is our housing for the guild. We can upgrade that and get different things in there if we all work towards. It's a collective thing to work towards to unlock. Basically. Actually, unironically, you guys may think this is weird, but I unironically am thinking about starting a brand new guild so that we can do the guild hall stuff together. Because I already have unlocked this guild hall. But I think it would have been, it'd be really cool if we actually just work together to unlock it. You could join a bunch of guilds. Yeah, I could just make another guild. I have 2 empty slots still. Monkahum? Why? Wait, what? Why are you saying Monkahum? You don't think that would be cool, like as a just to get everybody involved and do something together as a guild? As more people join, we just work together to do that. Especially if we start getting more people into the game instead of having it already unlocked. I mean, I would be down to do that. Honestly, unironically, I kind of want just fresh, clean slate. I was even thinking about just getting rid of this guild completely and just clean slating everything. Like we're just fresh slate, just starting fresh. Do it. I just don't know if there's anything I need to keep from here, or like I don't think there's a guild bank. There is, but I don't think we have anything. Yeah, we don't have anything. Yeah, there's nothing in here. That'd be cool. I want to do it, but I want to also see how many of you guys are going to be playing to even do something like that, you know? Because if like it ends up just being me at the end of the day, then like should I really be putting in this much effort? You know what I'm saying? I know I play. Bullish, you want to help me? You want to help me and we just like fucking recruit people and get people in? That's really all I need. I need just like a couple of people to help me just get people in the door. That's literally all it takes. Because I can't do it all day long because of work and shit, right? But if I just had people that are active playing alongside me, bro, we could do so much. I've already asked Danny, but Danny doesn't like talking to people, so that's already out of the question. She's like a pit bull in a chihuahua's body. I'll bring them in with candy from the Halloween event. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Unironically, like I really want to do it because I'm starting to get this like excitement about Guild Wars, and I kind of want to do a little bit of World v World at some point again. Like that's the one thing that WoW just could never really give me, was the World v World experience. It's just not built for it.
Hey, come here. The Growls have a friend of mine.
What? Wait, this kid distracted me and I fell down the cliff. I was trying to get to this quest. Oh, there it is. Foolish, when are your like active playtimes? Bro, I bought these onion rings and They're so strong. I need to like, hold on, I gotta throw this out before it smells up my room. One sec. Oh yeah, you want to know something else? I talked to Zeta about this whole thing with Guild Wars, right? And I was just like, I know we talked about Final Fantasy and stuff like that, but given all the context around Guild Wars and whatnot, and she said I should do it. She said I should actually go, like, actually main game it, get the community up and going, get the guild up and going. Like, she actually, she like gave her blessing for it. Because I thought she was going to be like, you know what? That's probably too much to take on. Just knowing me. But she was like, no, I think you should. Hey, can't argue with the wifey. One sec, chat. Can't argue with that.
Look at this place.
It is because of the horizontal progression, Danny.
Old. Centuries even.
100%. Like if there was any MMO to do it in, it would be this one because of that fact right there.
First structures. It's so sad that the dwarves all turned to stone and went to fight the dragons. Sad, but brave.
The dredge brought the sword here to find a way to destroy it.
And probably after this, Final Fantasy too, once they do all those changes to your tomes and all that.
First, we have to cross that windy bridge. I can use my magic to fly, but you'll have to foot it. Those flags and the torches flutter when the wind rises, so watch them carefully. Use the walls for cover. Keep your footing, go as fast as you can, and don't worry, it'll be cherry.
Man, you gotta really think about it. Final Fantasy's coming out with some major changes next year. And Guild Wars 3 is also going to look to shake up the market. Like, we have some interesting things happening within this genre in the next 2 years.
Watch the flags and use the walls for cover. That wind is fierce.
Going from just like actually Doom posting, unsure if there's even a future for this genre. Oh god, almost fell. Dude, I've never done these quests because I've never done the Derman Priory. This is so cool. Content that I've never seen in the base game before.
If you ask me, both dwarves and Asura have some serious issues.
They must have fixed and merged my shit for me when I was trying to figure this out the other day. Maybe they have some like back-end verification process that happens automatically, right?
Of the Stone Summit dwarves. Dagnar killed a human prince named Rurik, destroying the peace between the kingdoms of Kryta and Ascalon. That apparition must be the ghost of Dagnar's
Yeah,
grave.
I agree. I think consoles is gonna help a ton.
Ignore it and find a way to get up to that ledge. You never learned that trick. Huh.
Not gonna lie, I would definitely be playing some Guild Wars on the console. I'd definitely be trying Final Fantasy on the Switch at some point. I know for a fact I will. Oh, one sec, guys. I gotta do something real quick before we continue. By the way, chat, if you haven't seen yet, I think I pinned it. I don't know if it's still pinned, but I put out my first YouTube long form video. I've never made a long form video before. This is my first one. I'd appreciate the love and support if you guys go check it out. It's about Guild Wars 3. Took me way too long to do, which I feel like is only gonna get faster the more I do them. But I would love for you guys to support it and just go check it out. It's not even a 5-minute video. It's like a 4.5-minute video. Just about what we know so far. But it would mean a lot if you guys go check it out. I know the algorithm. I'm a slave to the algorithm gods, so
This might explode.
all that helps. Kind of want to do more YouTube stuff, to be honest. I had a lot of fun doing it. And it also didn't make me feel as bad for missing a day of streaming yesterday when I had to work, because I was able to get that video out, and it was still like I was able to put out content for it yesterday. And I think that was a good feeling to know that I had that opportunity to at least do that. Because I'll tell you, sometimes, bro, I be feeling bad. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be on, and then something pops up, just real life, and then I'm like, well, I can't make it tonight.
There. Jump through the flaming ring. What's wrong with that?
Okay. Ooh. All right, let's roll. What'd she say? Okay, I have to climb this wall. Let's see. Here? No. Wait, it's like see-through. Let's see. What is it actually telling me to? Oh, over here? Yeah, this looks like it. Oh no. Okay. Back to the jump puzzle woes. Did you ever do the pirate cave in this game? The one in the Lion's Arch. Yeah, I did that one. Yeah.
Great. I knew you could.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite.
Whoever that Norn was,
when I was younger, when the game first came out, I used to make my gold in the World v World jump puzzle. I don't know if you guys know about that, but the World v World jump puzzle, I used to sit there as a mesmer and I would port people to the end of it for gold, and that's how I made quite a bit of money. No, I'm not using any add-ons or mods. I haven't installed anything like that yet. What is that?
Praise Jormak.
Eat pain.
That was quick.
Stieg Frostbeard. I've heard of him. He's a son of Svanir. They're dragon cultists, and Stieg is a mean one. If he's got the sword, it'll be nothing but trouble.
Did you see what happened when the blade cut his friend? It turned that Norn into a monster.
I saw. That looked like dragon corruption to me. I guess the sanguinary blade really is made of dragon's blood. Gix was right. That's bad news for us, too. That sword will corrupt anyone that holds onto it for too long. Before we retrieve it for the Derman Priory, we'd better find a way to protect ourselves from the corruption.
What about the sword's original scabbard? The dwarves must have made it strong enough to contain the blade.
True. But how do we find that scabbard? It might be easier to create something of our own, using Priory knowledge. Give it a rumble in your brain, and let me know when you've made a choice.
What are we going to do? The dwarves must have made it a sheath. Wait, the dwarfs must have made it a sheath for the sword. If we find that, it should protect us. There may be something in the Derman's Priory vaults that we could use to build a containment device. Do the sheath. Because I want to wield it.
A fitting reward.
Yeah, I like to wield it. Oh, what's going on here? I'm under attack.
Defense, then offense.
Where do we gotta go?
What an excellent display of combat. Happy dragon bashing, everyone.
Happy dragon bashing, everyone. The announcer for that comes up so frequently that it's starting to get stuck in my head. Oh, we gotta go down here. Happy dragon bashing, everyone. See? Now it's stuck in your head.
New land.
Well, leveled up. Ooh, we can finish this. Boom. Done. Inferno. And now we can finish these as well. Let's see. Let's do more utility. What did I just unlock? Block attacks with an energy shield. If it blocks 3 attacks, it explodes for critical damage. So I could just kind of shield myself like crazy if I wanted to. Damn, when do I get like tornado? I want that. One more meeting to go and then freedom. Yeah, today was pretty nuts with meetings as well. Tomorrow's the same.
Isn't it amazing?
I've only done like a couple of
Hundreds
quests.
years ago,
I've been
this was
yapping
a
more than
proud
doing
Stone Summit
quests.
fortress. They were a group of xenophobic
But I do like the German Priory so
cruel,
far. They gave me a
brutal,
jump puzzle.
unyielding.
I've never seen
They're
that
the
jump
ones
puzzle
that
before.
enslaved the dredge. Well, mostly. Now look at it. Everything it stood for, both good and bad, has been washed away by time. I'm continually amazed at Tyria's resilience. The Stone Summit kept their most valued artifacts here. The Priory retrieved quite a bit, until those nasty pirates moved into the area.
You think the scabbard's still down there?
I'm sure of it, novice. The question is, how do we convince the pirates to let us poke around? Buy them some beer? Oh, convince them we're just shrubs.
I like the idea of convincing
What?
them, but I think we should use our convincing weapons. Come on.
Possibly go wrong. I defy those pirates.
What could possibly go wrong?
Defy.
Oh, I can't use my oh, I gotta go this way, I think. Oh, it's so loud. The water's so loud. You're doing Living World 1? Wait, what class did you make? Dude, it just mirror the water like super loud. Boom. Everybody dies. Ouch. Search the submerged god ruins for dwarven relics. Oh, I don't even think I'm supposed to be here. This guy's shooting me. Oh, they put a bunch of mines here. Huh. Sneaky. Ouch. Oh, is that it? Oh, I found it. I love that I can put them in a bubble and have them just float up. There's nothing they can do about it. Come on. I'm still netted. Let me out, please. Damn, that takes a while. Okay, we gotta go this way. I wonder how much this damage these mines. Oh. So those mines one shot you, chat? just in case y'all didn't know, okay? I was doing it for science. I was doing it for science. As long as you guys respect it, that's all that matters, right? As long as you appreciate it, man. As long as you appreciate it.
Now that's what I call combat archaeology. Well done, novice.
We retrieved the scabbard. Now, how do we find the sanguinary blade?
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot to tell you about that part. Oops. The Arcanist back at the Priory used a scrying spell to track Stieg. They told me that he's hiding near Black Baal's mill. We're also on double secret probation. Turns out Gix was mad about us not reporting after we went to the tomb.
Wait, we were supposed to report in? Siren.
If we don't find Stieg Frostbeard soon, the sword will corrupt everyone around him. It'll turn them all into monsters.
We've got to hurry to Black Baal's mill. I'll meet you there. And Siren, don't forget to bring the scabbard. finished.
Boy, am I dumb. You guys never answered me what your favorite race is in the game.
Now only the captain's left.
Oh, oh yeah, you said Sylvari. Yeah, you did. Norn or human? It says I can't mount here. Interesting.
Boo! Captain thinks he's scary. His friends will teach him what scary is.
I feel like there's a jump puzzle here. Because it's not letting me mount. I think there's a jump puzzle there. Whew. I can't believe I'm already tired, boys. That's the type of day I've had. It's been like nonstop since 6:30 this morning. I'm brain tired.
Hello there, Norn. We're here from the Dermond Priory, and your friend Stieg has something that belongs to us.
We're just here for Frostbeard. Bring us the sword he carries, and we won't hurt you.
Pathetic little bookworms. Stieg Frostbeard is mighty. He will attack Lion's Arch, and we will show you all Dragon's power. Stieg's blood sword is a holy relic of the dragon, Jormag. The dragon blesses Stieg for his faithful service. He will lead us to victory.
It's not too late. Please, think about what you're doing. The dragon may give you power, but in exchange, he's made you slaves.
Abandoned dragon in his time of triumph?
Yeah, Snixie.
Why would we do that?
Lion's Arch is filled with innocent people. You can't do this.
They aren't listening, Novice. Time to switch to Plan B.
Stop talking about you tired, Chad. Now I'm yawning. Plan B. Beat that ass. I like Plan BTA.
Defense, then offense.
Why won't they just give us the sword? Is power worth so much pain?
Stronger than stone.
Dragon's blood blade cannot be defeated. I will destroy you. He's lost his mind. The sword will turn us all into monsters.
Hate.
Well, Guild Wars 3 will not have Char, so you'll have to play Guild Wars 2 for Char. However, good news is you can come join us, Big J. Wait, what the hell? He just healed.
No more polite discussion, Novice. It's time to kick some sun.
Defense, then offense.
Knock him back. Oh, I missed it. I keep doing that wrong. It's 2 and then 3. They haven't confirmed all the races for Guild Wars 3 yet, but just the ones that were in this cinematic. We're gonna have like a bear race, a little furry
Well done, Novice.
Asura.
The sanguinary blade is ours, and Lion's Arch is safe from Stieg Frostbeard.
It looks like
It's
a
hard
human
to believe
so far.
that Stieg was willing to
That's
see
the only
all
ones we
his
know
Norn
of.
friends die, just to keep the power of the sanguinary blade.
That's not hard for me to believe at all, Novice. It's typical of the idiots who serve Elder Dragons. The dragons are a blight. They don't care about anything but their hunger. Their followers are just bad. Even if we find a way to save the world
Followers are
from the
just
dragons,
bad.
I sometimes wonder if we'll ever find a way to save us from ourselves. When Gix told me I was going to be mentoring a new novice,
All right, chat.
I thought it would be an
This is what we got to do.
boring
Okay.
task.
We're gonna
what?
cook up the guild,
I really like you.
and then we're gonna come into the
You're willing
Guild
to try
Wars
new
official
things and-
Discord, and we're gonna post it
You've got a good head on your shoulders.
here.
Thanks, Siren. I have to admit, this
Okay.
has been a lot of fun.
Cherry.
We can
Come
start
on,
getting people
Let's
in.
get the sword back to Gix. After that, we'll work on saving the world.
I think right now is a perfect opportunity to find new people to play with because of how many people have come back to the game to check it out or are interested in checking it out for the first time. Dude, the bear, that's going to be my main class. I'm going to be that, dude, I'm going to have that big ass bear. I want a panda. I want a gigantic fucking panda. All right. Did I see the panda skin in Where Winds Meet? I did. Yeah. Like, honestly, chat. All right, be honest. If you didn't know how I looked and I talked, do you think I could pull off a panda bear model? Do I have a panda's voice? No? Let me see. Are there any panda skins? I feel like I could be a panda. What actually, I don't even know what skins they have for the mounts. Do they have a panda mount skin? Traveler's outfit. Even started pay to go was early, but none of my people jumped in early, so I just missed the wave. Well, come join the wave now, brother. It's a new wave. They said it in the live stream today. 40%. They've had the highest new player account creation ever since the release when Guild Wars 3 got dropped. That they had the highest amount of new players start the game on Saturday for the first time. And that there was a 40% increase in their concurrence over the last week since the announcement. The crystal outfit I really like. You look more like an awakened zealot, Danny. That's what you look like. I wonder where you can find the skins. That skin that he had, I want to see where you get that from. Is that just like a novelty thing? I feel like it would be under style, right? The skins change every week. Where do you see it in the store? Oh yeah, there's housing in here, Danny. I don't know if you knew that. Oh, okay. So you're talking about like mount skins, right? I'm talking about like the character, like your skin that you could put on yourself. I think that's outfits. I don't think it's skins. I think they're considered outfits. Well, that looks kind of cool. Yeah, like that guy that we saw with the weird name, he had a weird skin on, and I don't think that was an outfit. Because I think in the wardrobe you could actually see it. Oh, did they get... Here we go. Outfits, yeah. Yeah, see, these are called outfits. I bet you he had one of these on. I'm sure he had one of these on. I think this is the one he had on. And he just dyed it. I bet you this is the one he had on. He just dyed it. They have one Adventure Cat outfit. Why does this remind me of Final Fantasy IX for some reason? So this was kind of wild. These are the ones that you could buy right now. The ones with the green on them. Yeah, and they rotate out. This one has like, oh, wait, what did I just do? Go back. This one had like an aura on it. What was that? Like one down here. Shit. This one. Yeah, look, it has like glowing sparkles on it. I don't know why there's no music playing here. These are the ones that I own. So I have this one on my Ranger right now. This one's kind of cool. This is the one I used to do World v. World with. Bring it, Big J. Come join us, bro. This is the one I have on my Revenant. See, I like that they have the randomize option. Like the randomize, so cool. Look like a cheerleader and football player at the same time. And I like that you can randomize the skin and you can randomize the dye. That's such a cool feature. And they do the same thing for the mounts too. You could... Oh my god, this raptor mount, bro. Yo, this raptor mount is sick. What the fuck is this? That's amazing. That has to be the Super Adventure box, doesn't it? Oh my god, that's great. He's like... Oh, that's awesome. Can you dye it? Oh, you could dye his hat. Oh, you could dye him too. Yeah, that's a cool mount. I like that mount. Yeah, the plushy ones are great. I've always liked the plushy ones. Where's the plushy raptor one? Let me see. Can I search plush? Yeah. Reset. Plush. Like, look at that. That thing's so cool looking. Yeah, they have so many skins for your mounts. Look at this fire one. Look at this galaxy one. Holy, that looks crazy. Whoa, that one looks cool too. Wait, this one's cute. What is this? Gallant Lightbearer. Oh man, this one's cool. Look at his ears. I love the ears. Little floppy ears. That one's cute. Yeah, you could dye the mounts. Yep, you could dye all mounts in the game. Told you, Danny, you're sleeping. You sleeping on Guild Wars. Guild Wars is fashion is. Look at this. Oh, look at how sick that color sway looks. I'm gonna have to buy this mount when it comes in the store. This one's not available right now. I'm definitely getting this one when it comes into the store. I like this mount a lot. I forgot about my Warclaw. We got a Janther Warclaw. That's the default Warclaw. This is the one I have. I'll put that one on. Bye. Oh, the B one. Everybody freaks out about this B. This is probably like the highest res mount they've ever put in the game. Look at this mount. It looks sick. The bee looks sick. Yeah, the hummingbird's cute too, but like look how high res this bee is. Yeah, this has to be like to get this high res asset in this game and render it like this with this lighting with how like yeah, it's crazy. Whoa, what is this? Castorian tentacle skimmer. That looks crazy. And I did, and there's mounts here that I don't even own yet. I don't own the Griffin. Here's the Griffin. I don't own the Whirlibito. I don't own the Jackal. Like, look at this. You want a Ninetail? Or you just want a fluffy Snow Dog? I love how the Jackal looks. I don't own the Griffin. And I don't own the turtle. But I haven't even done Jade and the dragons yet, so there's your plush turtle. 25 bucks, the most expensive mount skin? I think so. I don't think they get any higher than that. But again, remember what I said. What's 1600? 1600 is how much? 20 bucks. I don't know if there's any mount skins for 25. I think they cap at 20. But remember what I said. If you figure out how to make gold, you can literally just what's it called? Convert gems into convert gold into gems. Right? Like you could just come here. You want to get gems. This is the cost for the gems. Right? If you want to just exchange a certain amount, You could say I want 400 gems. You just have to have 185 gold, right? This is like the exchange. So that's what I like about this game. And I wish this system was in like Lost Ark and all that. They don't have like the way that these conversions work in the Korean games is that it's driven by people swiping, right? And they limit how you make gold everywhere else. Here, they don't time gate you to make gold. Like if you have a good way of farming, you can go farm. Yeah, you can literally. There's people that make hundreds of gold a week, just doing certain things like ectoplasms and selling them, and you know they have their own little things they do to farm, and you know they have their own ways of making their money. Personally, I've never gotten to that point of the game where I'm making money like that. So, but I've also haven't been super aggressive in wanting stuff out of the cash shop either. I've pretty much have been okay with the stuff that I get in the game. That I haven't, very rarely have I just looked at the cash shop for stuff outside of some mount skins and whatnot that I really like. But also, they have the Wizard's Vault. That is basically like daily things that you do in the game and weekly things that you complete, and you get this currency right here. And with that currency, you can also get skins and stuff using that currency from just playing the game, right? Like if I wanted this Jackal skin, just like I got the rabbit one, I just spend that currency from just doing stuff in the game. And that's how you get this currency. It's like the adventure log thing from WoW. Or I forgot what they called it. The shop. Trader's Post. My music shut off or something? I guess this area just doesn't have music. Boom, 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 bro. When these new maps come in, where they update all these maps, it's gonna look so nice. I can't wait. I'm excited to see like previews of what they look like, especially since they said they're starting with the base game first. This is exactly where we're at right now. This is all base game maps. Hey, new player. Would you like to join my guild? Guild invite. Hey. Welcome. Threw you a guild invite just in case you were interested. Have a good day. They already do the dev stream? They did. Yeah. They didn't really show much for Guild Wars 3. They basically said it was mostly focused on Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, and they basically, it was honestly just pretty much going over what they put in that video. They didn't really reveal anything new. There was nothing really covered that wasn't already said in the video. So I wonder how long it'll take. They said that they plan to have it wrapped up by the time Guild Wars 3 comes out, and that the first patch is going to be this year at least. Ooh, look at that. The way that skimmer flew by looked cool. And they said that base game is going to be done in 2 parts. That's what they said in the live stream. So
At last, the sanguinary blade. I shudder to think of the damage it would have wrought without your aid. You've both done well. Consider yourselves off probation. Further, novice, I hereby promote you to the rank of Explorer, with all the rights and privileges, etc., etc.
Etc.
I'd like you to continue your partnership with Siren. Perhaps you can keep this deciduous do-gooder out of trouble?
Thank you, Stuart Gix. I'd be happy to collaborate with Siren. We work well together.
Poor Gix. You're just jealous that you're stuck in here being leadery and responsible while we're having all the fun.
Yes, yes. I'm sure that's exactly what it is. Be that as it may, I must rely on you two for another project. Your next endeavor is a research assignment involving one of the lesser races of Tyria. Do try not to teach them bad habits, Siren. Explorer, get a briefing from Siren, and choose which species you'd like to study. Now, go.
A raccoon mount for what? Raptor? No. That sounds like a jackal thing. I'd like to study the psychology of the Grawl, the Hylex. The Hylex. The dog, yeah, that's the jackal. Yeah. Boo-doo-boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So chat, what's today? Tuesday? Yeah. So chat, we should be able to do a nighttime stream tonight. I'm gonna do one tonight because tomorrow throughout the day I most likely will not be here. I have a lot of stuff I gotta get done. Tomorrow is a little rough, and Thursday will most likely be a nighttime stream for Thursday as well. This week's a little funky. Just gotta get a lot of stuff done before we have family coming in next week. So, but I most likely will still be on, even if I'm not streaming. I will be on playing Guild Wars regardless, because I want to still get some stuff prepped on my other characters and everything like that. And I want to also look at setting up a build or two for other things outside of getting this character up to par and maxed out. So yeah, with that being said, I do need to start wrapping up till tonight because I gotta go pick up the kiddo from school. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for the nice little stream. Check out the dev stream and do a little bit of questing. If you guys are new to the channel or coming back through and it's been a while, please do hit that follow button, and also please go check out the video that I posted on Guild Wars 3. I'm gonna try to keep doing, if the very least, if I can't make it for stream, I'm gonna try to do more YouTube content as well now that we're getting the dust off and the rust. So yeah, I'll see you guys then later on tonight. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe, stay blessed. And also, if you guys are thinking about picking up the game or jumping back in, join the Discord. I added a Guild Wars row in the Discord. All you gotta do is click on select your rows, and it's right here. You can go ahead and click that and it'll give you the Guild Wars row. I'm probably gonna end up setting up, I don't know yet how I'm gonna do it, but I'm probably gonna set up like a little section for Guild Wars stuff. I've also been thinking about just branching it out into its own Discord as well, so TBD on that. But I also am thinking about us, like I said, doing the fresh guild so we could get the guild hall unlocked. I think that'd be pretty cool, and I think if you guys have never done it before, it's a really fun event to do with everybody. So we may most likely do that anyways, because I think you guys would enjoy that. For those of you that are coming in for the first time or returning, if you've never experienced it, it's a cool quest chain, and it's something you do with the whole guild, and you basically are taking over the guild hall, or whatever you pick. You have to do like a whole thing to take it back from the enemy. So yeah, those are the things I'm going to be planning on for us, and more. So I'll see you guys tonight for more. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you guys later. Much love. Have a good day, y'all.